personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality.
Hello, welcome to another edition of the Voice of Ocala. Buddy Martin along with Tom Schmidt, Austin Statman, A-Man Tatman, back from the cool weather of the Northeast. Socked in there for a couple of days. Glad to have him back. Yeah, one of the many. The life of a traveler. On the program today, we've got a pretty busy day with lots of guests, jam-packed. Some of our favorites today. We're going to talk with Jeff Halcomb, who's always been one of our favorite guys around here. He's the director of Water and Sewer. Had a really interesting comment to make the other day regarding a story in the Star Banner and an official who had a comment about water legislation and whether or not it was important to enforce some of the laws and some of the things. And so Jeff kind of has a little something to say about that, among other things. He's always got something to say. Kent Gwynn will be calling in today. He's in the news today. The mayor has vetoed the land use for Ocala Stud Farm. Here is the Star Banner front page. Story. Says City OK's land use change for Ocala Stud Farm. Front page last night, this morning. Today, Kent Gwynn vetoing that bill, that measure, which passed 3-2, and we'll see how the veto comes out. He has to have 4/5 to win that. The mayor checking in with us today. David Rutter, I hope I'm pronouncing Mr. Rutter's name correctly. He's from the Appleton Museum. Rutter. We'll find out from him about that. He will be here to talk about the event coming up, which I think is going to be one of the really nice things we've had around Ocala in a while. It's a stroll through Tuscaloosa Park, and it's a sculptures competition. So Mr. Rutter will join us here in a couple of minutes. We'll get his take on that, and we were unable to get with Melissa Townsend, but she'll join us next Monday to tell us about it. And Sports Hour, our old buddy Max Howell. Haven't talked to Max in a long time. Hooking up with Max today at 5:30. Max is, if you don't know who he is, he's been around the SEC for a long time, coached at places like Florida State, then recruited at Ole Miss, et cetera, et cetera. And Max has always got a good take on things. Formerly the co-host for Conference Call or Southern Sports Tonight, if you remember that back in the day at the other station. And finally...
That's not what's important with Max Howell, though. What's important with Max Howell is food.
He likes both of them. I called him today. He said, I'm feeding 10,000 people right now, or whatever the number was. I think he said 1,200 people I'm feeding them right now. He said, and finally, what a night last night by Michael Frazier II.
Wow.
SEC record for most three-pointers in an SEC game.
Wow.
Went for 37 as the Gators go 17-0 in the win last night against South Carolina, who put up a little bit of a test there for about a half or lower, and then just buried them. Frazier buried them. One of the best performances.
He'd have hit three-pointers from 13 rows up, sitting at half court.
I don't want to say he was LeBron, but boy, I tell you, he was shooting. He was on the mark. I don't know what he ended up missing, 5 or 6. And
Austin Tatman's the only kid that could probably hit three-pointers like that.
I'm not even sure Austin could do that.
I couldn't even do that. That was nuts.
It was crazy.
Pretty good stuff. So
and tonight, 8 o'clock tip-off, CF Patriots taking on Chipola in the first round of the state playoffs. You know, state tournament started today at 1 o'clock.
Tough opener to have to take on Chipola.
Number one team in the state.
Yeah. They got the game going on now. We'll hope to get a result.
I'm going on record right now. Chipola's ousted tonight by CF.
I don't know about that.
I talked to a CF basketball player on Monday night, and I asked him, are you committed to winning this year? He said, I had a couple of low games, but I'm back to understanding what I need to do to win. I'm not going to tell you who it was, but let's just say he plays point guard.
Going to need more than one of them. Suarez is going to need more than himself. But good he has that attitude. And, by the way, we got a big soccer game taking place as we speak, right?
As we speak.
Ukraine, United States. I taped it. I started trying to watch it.
Cyprus.
No way I could get all that done today before I started the show with all the stuff I got going on, so didn't quite make that. I got a story a little bit later on about a stash of gold coins they believe was buried 100 years ago.
Pretty good story.
The value, oh my goodness. This is the ultimate buried treasure story that we all dream about. Could be a hooker in it.
Yeah, there could be a hooker in this story.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out, but it's what we all dream of, and this was just sitting up there when they found it. So you wonder what else is out there.
Strolling with their dog.
100-year-old gold coins.
Just out walking the dog.
See, it pays to walk your dog sometimes. Sure. I'm going to get back into an issue if we had time, and I want to keep this on the forefront of this program because we talked about it at length last Friday with the chief of police and the sheriff, Chris Bear, this matter of child exploitation, sex trafficking, child abuse, which is going on in this country right now.
I didn't realize it was as bad as
Massive.
it is, buddy.
Massive. And the sheriff and chief talked about it some, and we'll have a bite discussing that. Like I think one of them said, I believe the chief said, it's like anything else. You never think it happened to you, and then it happens. So
I watched this news thing last night on the internet about a sex trafficking ring the FBI busted about 2 months ago in Danbury, Connecticut, that had 42 women in 7 different motels between the ages of 13 and 19. And the people in Danbury were like, you'd have never thought that was going on in our town. Now, I don't know the size of Danbury, Connecticut.
well, it's
you
pretty
lived
good
up there in
size
the
town.
Northeast.
Pretty good size town. I'm going to say 100,000, 150,000, whatever. I think
So about our size.
a little bigger. Denver. It's a stop on the train line for one thing. But anyway, yeah, I mean, here's the thing about it. I'm not going to get into this now because I haven't got time. I want to get back to our guest in a moment, Mr. Reuter, and let him weigh in on what this sculptures in the park stroll is going to be, which I think is going to be really nice. But a friend of mine who's a pastor in town posted something recently about that regarding sex trafficking, and we're all, many of us are unwilling participants in that, in the standpoint of, doing things illegal, getting involved in porn in some way, et cetera, what have you. And if it's going to take a major change in the attitudes of men in many ways to sort of, it's slavery. It's bondage.
It is.
And until we wake up and realize if we don't take a position on this and really try to eradicate it and not the things that go on around it. It's like when you say, I'm betting with the bookie. Well, no big deal except for one thing. A lot of the bookies are controlled by the mob. So, I mean, I just say organized crime. And you say you don't care. Well, you do care because organized crime's into drugs and prostitution and what have you. So in many ways, you're unwittingly participating in things that are hurting us in our society. And it's hard, I know, for us to really realize that because it seems innocent. But when you start doing the homework and tracking the results, you realize where it comes from. You got to stop and think about it, what you're doing, what's your part in this. And to some degree, some of us have all participated in it somehow. So
I need to look at my offshore accounts, Austin.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this is a guy smart who knows what's going on. I guarantee you talk to the sheriff and the chief, they'll tell you the same thing.
I'm not going to ask him about my offshore account. Are you kidding me?
No. There's Howie George.
That may be the best golfer in Ocala.
He's a good one. My nephew.
Under the age of 18.
My grandnephew. Okay, it's time to take a break. Come back. We'll talk about sculptures in the park coming up next right here on the Voice of Ocala. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. If you'd like to join the conversation, you can do so by texting us 352-507-5352. 352-507-5352 to reach us right here at the source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
What is your view? Give me your view of your own or things you see in people that are inspirational to you, or advice you give to others about giving in order to make the community better.
Well, I'll tell you that the mindset that I've got, and I didn't come up with this necessarily on my own. I've watched others throughout my career, and as I've grown up and gotten older, is I'm a member of this community first and foremost. This is where my kids were born. This is where my kids have been raised, with the exception of the short amount of time, the short period of time we were gone. But why wouldn't you want to make your community better?
So remember to join us for Ask the Cops every second and fourth Friday of the month on WOCA, The Source.
Hey, you guys, this is Lou, and if you don't want to be a dirty little bird sitting on a curb eating dirty white wings, you better head on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs. They got the best, the juiciest, tastiest char-grilled hot dogs, burgers, solid filet of fish and chicken, and 90% fat-free pulled pork barbecue that's a little sweet and a little spicy. Dairy Queen doesn't use processed and formed junk like the competition. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, home of the real $5 lunch.
WOCA.
Like it or not, springtime is just around the corner, and so is spring cleaning and those winter projects you've been putting off. But don't worry, Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's OcalaForSale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. OcalaForSale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
News Talk 1370, WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
This is Tom Schmitz live at the WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by Gateway Bank. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County's first Strawberry Festival drew a much larger crowd than expected Saturday, sending organizers scrambling to nearby grocery stores to replenish a dwindling supply of berries at the downtown event. We had 4 times as many people as we thought we had, said Brad Nemo, president of the local charity. We were planning on 5,000. I think we hit closer to 20,000. 3 times we ran out of strawberries. Nemo said the event grossed nearly $72,000. Once the festival bills are satisfied, Habitat expects to have about $30,000 towards building a $40,000 Habitat home for a local needy family. This news break was brought to you by Gateway Bank, your new old-fashioned bank. Join Buddy Fridays for Community Gazette Day at Gateway Bank.
Well, tell her that I miss our little talks. Soon it will all be over, buried with our past. We used to play outside.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala on a overcast, starting to get chilly Wednesday. Looking for storms to roll into the area later tonight and early into the Thursday morning. Might be the last cold snap of the year, Austin. And you brought it back with you from Connecticut, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you know what? I was actually in Vermont, but you know what?
Vermont, same place.
I was coming
way
home,
cold.
Woke up this morning expecting to wear some shorts and a polo, and it's still cold.
Yeah.
I was expecting to defrost and kind of thaw out, and not happening quite yet.
You missed Habitat for Humanity of Marion County Strawberry Festival on Saturday.
I did. How was that?
We did the Saturday sports show from down there. I know when I left and came back with my girlfriend, we had to park at 8th Street Elementary and walk to downtown.
Wow.
Because of the crowds.
How were the strawberries?
Good. Habitat for Humanity did a great job. They had the Rotary Club or Kiwanis Club had a pancake breakfast. There were lots of vendors. And to raise $72,000 gross, and after you pay the bills to clear $30,000, it's a pretty successful fundraiser, buddy.
I think it's because the Saturday show was out there.
That's exactly why it was. But the problem was everybody kept asking where Buddy Martin was.
What's that mean, one person?
3.
Okay, there you go. That's a lot.
It's enough to be a riot according to federal law.
Yeah. Supposedly, yeah. I talk about raising things. How about raising some gold coins out of the ground? This is a great story. San Francisco, and this has been going on for a while. A California couple found this buried treasure in their backyard in the Sierra Nevadas and the foothills. Nobody knew how it got there, where it came from, etc. All of a sudden, they found these coins buried in cans. There's stories about, I'm going to bury my cans back there. And they actually found one buried. And it was nice because the buried cans had like a face value like $27,000, except the gold coins were in mint condition, so it's $10 million.
Right, because there's $10 gold, all of them before 1894.
Right. So apparently they can't quite figure out how they got there or where it came from, and they're concerned that maybe this came from a heist at a bank. And
well, they had a heist of the San Francisco Mint in 1900.
So I'm getting to it here right now. That 1,400 coins. The San Francisco papers reported $30,000 stolen from the vault of a cashier at the San Francisco Mint, but no trace has been found. The suspect was Walter M. Dimmick, and he served prison time, but still, they say no connection between these coins and where they're buried. So, and there's nothing in the federal law that resembles the so-called finders keepers deal, which is there's no provision for currency stolen from the mint. It's property of the United States. The U.S. Mint told the reporters on the story that it had no information linking the coins to any thefts in the U.S. Mint. At this time, we do not intend to investigate, which means these folks could be $10 million richer. Time now to go to the telephone lines and talk with, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's Reuter or Reuter. I apologize.
It could be Reuter, but it's Reiter.
Reiter. Okay, well,
Yeah.
my producer wrote Reiter, and I thought, well, he must be a writer. So it's Reiter. Good name to have, by the way. I like that, Reiter. I know you're an associate, of course, with the Appleton, and you're involved in this project at Tuscaloosa. We've talked with Melissa Townsend about it, and it sounds like a really interesting evening. Give it to us. We had Melissa on last week. Tell us a little bit about this stroll in Tuscaloosa and these statues or sculptures are going to be out there and what's going to happen to them.
Yeah, ever since last October, we've had 10 sculptures, outdoor sculptures, installed around Tuscaloosa Park. And they're going to be up through September 21st, but a week from Saturday, on the 15th, we have a sculpture stroll celebration. It's going to be obviously open to the public. There's going to be a lot of family art activities, some live entertainment, storytelling, music, and one of the awards that's going to be given is People's Choice Awards. So voting for that award is going to take place on that day.
So what's the time of day when this takes place?
It's in the afternoon. It's 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
1 to 4 p.m. at Tuscaloosa Park on the 16th, you said?
The 15th.
15th, okay.
Saturday the 15th.
Saturday 15th, okay. So do you pay? Is there a ticket to buy, or could you just go out there and walk around?
There is, well, you can go out there and walk around. There will be, for those interested, there will be a VIP tent. And tickets are available for that. I got you. And
this is an interesting subject for a lot of folks, and you as the registrar for the Appleton, I know you're obviously very tuned into the art. How good is the art? I mean, we've heard good reports about how good are these sculptures?
Oh, what I think it's fantastic, and the thing that I think is the absolute best is that there's an enormous amount of diversity. we had a large selection committee of 22 people to choose from 93 entries to determine which sculptures were going to be installed. And the selection committee consisted of sculptors, museum professionals, artists, and community members at large. So what you get is a good mix of abstract, representational things that are accessible to everyone. And I think that everybody who visits, they're likely to see something that they like, and they're probably likely to see something that they could do without.
My understanding is that some of them for sale. Is that correct?
Every one of them is for sale, and we'll have the information on that day as far as the prices. And it's a good way for us to promote Tuscarora Park, the city of Ocala, all of the partners, the Appleton Museum, FAFO, MCA. But it's also a good way to promote the artists themselves.
Wouldn't it be nice if someone would be willing to buy it and leave it in the park?
That would be fantastic. Some of them look like they were just made exactly for that spot.
David, are you? I'm sorry, I don't know your complete background. I know you're the registrar at Appleton, so I know you worked here a while. Tell me about where you come from and what the mood, what the attitude is toward art in those cities, and whether or not we have some catching up to do in Ocala and Marion County.
I think we're heading in the right direction. I'm originally from Iowa, and I've been in Florida for about 10 years. I was down in Tampa doing graduate work at USF, and I've been here at the Appleton for about 5 years. And I find that lately there's a really good synthesis of art. I think we're really heading in the right direction. This project, of which Melissa Townsend is really the kind of spearhead of it, she's done her research, and there are other cities around us who have been doing this kind of thing for a while. And so it's wonderful to see it here, and it's wonderful that when we have something like this, that we're getting this synthesis with FAFO, MCA, and the Appleton Museum. All these arts communities in town are coming together for a project like this.
Art kind of takes a beating in the down times when the recessionary times, and I know that that's been the case in the last 4 or 5 years when the economy started dropping down in 2007, 2008. And it seems like sometimes it's the thing that goes first, and you start cutting budgets. Luckily, we're very fortunate to have the Appleton here in our community, certainly way bigger than what most towns have, to have a symphony, to have a First Friday art walk, and have people like Melissa Townsend, who I think is just really terrific. I hope we can keep her around because she's that good. What would you like to see happen in terms of the art community? I mean, FAFO's, I think, coming back downtown is exciting. What other things would you like to see? You know, as a person associated with the Appleton, I know you have lots of great exhibits out there. What, in terms of our art conscious, what would you like to see happen in our community?
Yeah, you're right about the arts taking a bit of a beating, and almost physically too. When you have art out among the public, I think that the response to the Tuscarora exhibition has been really good. I think that you get a lot of people who are invested. When they see art out in the public, they almost take a kind of possession of it. Over here at the Appleton, we're kind of a separate building, and the notion, the preconceptions about a museum could be a little bit standoffish. Like when you go into a museum, you don't touch, you don't really, there's this distance between you and the art. I would like to see this kind of public sculpture develop more, and I think that there's a small movement among a lot of our supporters to get a lot of this similar outdoor sculpture around the Appleton. It's kind of a long-term project, but it's more engaging. And I would like to see even more synthesis between all of the different arts communities in town.
Good point. In terms of academic institutions and schools that are really, really good in this regard, within what I call the triangle, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, I know New College in Sarasota used to be heavy in the arts back in the days. Are there any particular schools that a secondary education or college that you could think of that if you were referring someone to go and they wanted to study art of some kind that you'd direct them to?
Well, absolutely. My career, my background is more in art history. But whether you're talking about art history or studio art, I think that you need to base your schools on the instructors, the type of instruction you're going to get. Down at USF, there seems to be a heavy conceptual basis, and that works for a lot of artists, and for other ones it doesn't. I wouldn't be able to say that any one program is going to be really outstanding. You really need to look at who's doing the type of art that you want to do. And most of the instructors have their own websites, so you can find your niche.
Appreciate your time. We'll look forward to the 15th and that 1 to 4 in the afternoon, and right there in beautiful Tuscaloosa Park. Just a final note, David. I have a friend who showed me some photographs Saturday night. Said, look at these photographs and tell me what you think this is. And I said, okay. I looked at it. I thought, gee, that's a little nice area. Is that like a resort or someplace in South Florida, or is that what? He said, I went out for a stroll in Tuscaloosa Park around the pond. He said, and I took these pictures right here in our backyard. Beautiful pictures. So I think that we're in for a renaissance at Tuscaloosa. This is a great move in that direction.
Agree completely.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
David Ryder from Appleton Museum. We'll take a break, come back. Mayor Gwynn is in the news again, and he has used his veto. We'll talk to him about that why and what after this timeout on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, it's Lisa Midget, owner of the brand new Proper Tees Salon. It's a perfect time to freshen up your cut and color for the new year. And if you really want to change up your look, talk to us about Hotheads extensions for extra volume and length. How about a blowout for date night? Give us a call. Enjoy some me time while you relax in our newly renovated salon and check in on Facebook using our free Wi-Fi. We know you'll be happy with your new look. We guarantee it. Our style guarantee assures you that no matter what, you will love your hair, or we will fix it for free. Call for your appointment today, 352-351-1771. We're located in downtown Ocala, next to the Southside Deli. Tell us Buddy sent you for 20% off your first service visit. Now hiring licensed cosmetologists, nail techs, and front desk staff. Visit our website, thepropertees.com, for our online application. The Proper Tees Salon, timeless elegance meets classic sex.
You know, Austin, I'm sitting here at the computer looking at our Facebook page, and boy, we really need to tell more listeners about our Facebook page.
No, Tom, so you got it all wrong. Twitter is the new age.
What's a tweeter?
No, a Twitter, Tom. The Voice of Ocala has a Twitter.
We do? Well, how do we tell our listeners about that?
All they have to do is get the Twitter app or go to twitter.com, type in Voice of Ocala in the search box, and click follow.
All right, well, what's the tweeter do?
The Voice of Ocala's Twitter page updates all of its followers on the latest news, guests, giveaways, and contests.
Oh, okay. But couldn't listeners just tune in weekdays from 3 to 6 to 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, or even go to online at WOCA.com? Wouldn't that be easier?
Yeah, okay, maybe.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Stacy Caldwell, the College Board's Vice President of the SAT, coming on to speak to us about changes to the SAT exam and what those changes mean for parents, students, and teachers.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events served bite-sized.
And then Dr. Vivian Fonseca is coming on, a professor of medicine and pharmacology at Tulane University Health Sciences Center, coming on to speak to us about the importance of controlling cholesterol so it does not lead to heart disease.
Then join Hank Whittier and our veterans on Veterans News.
And then let's talk golf with Jim Beckett. He's a PGA professional and the founder of the Golf College down at Links of Spruce Creek South.
Peter Leonard is a best-selling novelist. He'll be on the air speaking about his new book, Eyes Closed Tight.
And then Strive Physical Therapy will be in the studio. We'll have some therapists from Strive talking about what they do to make sure that you feel better after you needed some therapy. All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Brick City Health and Fitness, Ocala's premier health club, invites you to come in and see this extraordinary fitness facility. Brick City Health and Fitness has everything to keep you fit or get you back into shape. The largest selection of equipment and training for everyone with top personal trainers. Enjoy Ignite, CrossFit, Pilates, Zumba, spin, aerobics, and much, much more. While there, ask how you can earn a free month. Brick City Health and Fitness is located in the Pine Plaza, number 524. Come visit today or call 509-3133. We are here to serve you. That's 509-3133.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Up. Keep your love. Keep your head up. My love.
All right, reading in Star Banner this morning, headline says City OK's land use changed for Ocala Stud Farm. The story goes into the fact that City Council voted 3-2 to change the land use on about 183 acres of Ocala Stud property, which opened the door for roughly 400 acres of mixed-use development off Southwest 42nd Street and 27th. So that was apparently done last night, but not so fast, my friend. Today, Mayor Kent Gwynn exercised his veto, and now we shall see what stands. If the people who voted for it or voted against it remain against it, or if it shifts. But I don't know how many times he's done this, but Mayor Gwynn, you're on the phone, and explain to us what's going on with your veto there, Kent.
Well, I've only done this twice. There was once we had discussed, I had mentioned I was going to veto something, and it wasn't voted on. And another time, I had vetoed something that was overridden, so this would be really the second time. But no, my reason for doing it was that, listening to the discussion about how intense the development would be on that 400 acres, I just realized that it just wasn't going to be compatible for the area. It would just forever change the landscape of the entire area, and it just wasn't the right thing to do as far as the development. So I did what I thought was the right thing by vetoing it.
And do you expect the gentleman, I think Mr. Mahler or Mr. Hilty, voted against it, correct? And then
Correct.
And you expect them to stand with you on this?
I think so. That'll be up to them. I'm sure they're getting a lot of calls today asking them to change the vote. But I got to do what I think's right, and that's what I think's right. And we'll just let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. Was it a density issue for you, Kent?
Yeah. Definitely. It was. They could put. They said they wouldn't, but they could put up to 18 units per acre on there. It would just. It just didn't fit in that area. You're talking about 400 acres of really intense. It's called low intensity, but I don't think it is. And based on what Steve Gray was describing to us, a lot of times, when people are up there presenting things, they try to paint a pretty picture. And no disrespect to Steve, though, he's just representing his client. And but it just wouldn't be compatible with that area.
I know you're pro-economic development, and of course you were certainly behind the movement to try to bring the Yankees here and build a ballpark. There is a difficult there's a point there of line, which you don't want to step over one way or the other. But on one hand, you want development and you want new businesses and what have you to come here. On the other hand, there's a little bit of preservation about our lifestyle and density and what have you. It's a pretty tough call sometimes, isn't it?
Right. Well, it is. But, I mean, I was one of the biggest advocates for Heathbrook when they bought Bonnie Heath Farm and Dudley Farm. There was nothing there. There were no other neighbors around there. Mm-hmm. They created all of that on their farm. So, you know, I'm not against development. Just do it in the right place. You know, love the horse farms, love the thoroughbred industry, what it means to Ocala. You know, but if we continue on and on developing, you know, in areas like that, the reason people move here is because of its uniqueness. All will be is another South Florida town with concrete development and some trees and rolling hills, and we'll just be just like any other city. And that's not why people move here.
Well, there you go. That's that issue again. What else is happening in our city that I should know about? I had to read this morning in the paper. What is my mayor up to here? I don't know what's going on.
Well, I was just sitting in here with the fire chief talking about ambulance service and some discussions he's having with the county that you'll probably read about here in the not too distant future.
Okay.
And but other than that, you know, things are good. I'm interviewing people for some positions on some boards right now. I'm in the middle of meetings, so.
I know you are. I know you got a busy time. I just went quick and let you get out of here. What kind of progress being made on that? I call it the super committee with the three groups getting together to decide what they would do, if anything, with additional sales tax money. How's that progressing?
Well, mine, Sheriff Blair and I are chairing the public safety, along with obviously Chief Graham, who's my go-to person. So that's progressing, and we're going to get back together, I think, Friday, and come back and make our recommendations.
All right, Kent, thank you for taking the time. It was a busy day for you. Usually we have a coffee, but today is a little more hectic, I understand. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes to call us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There, Kent Gwynn. No coffee with the mayor today. I don't know. I kind of like that.
2 weeks in a row he didn't have coffee with the mayor.
About that now. Isn't that part of the contract?
I thought it was.
Coffee with the mayor? I don't know. Well, it continues to go. And there are some people who don't agree with Kent. I spoke with one of them this morning. I'll just go ahead and say who it was. That would be the Straw, who will be here tomorrow at 4 o'clock. It is Fuse's self. He will be joining us for the 4 o'clock hour to talk about a number of topics, which you know he will have something to say.
Well, you know, Kent seems to have solid reasons for why he made what he felt was the right decision, and there's two sides to every issue, and Kent thinks he came down on the right side of the issue this time, and I'm sure that people agree with Kent, and there are some people that think he came on the wrong side of the issue.
I do like people who do what they think is the right thing. I'm sure most of us think we're doing the right thing, but at least I think one of the things I wrote a column about this coming up on the next issue of Best Version Media is that we need more people doing the right thing. The right thing. I don't mean that anybody's doing anything illegal or crooked, but the consensus we have to build for this community is going to have to involve leaders. And leaders got to move forward and make the tough decisions that won't always be popular, but to get it right. And although you'll get a lot of static and a lot of blowback, ultimately history will prove you right if you do the right thing. So that's the part of it that I'm looking forward to, and part of it that I'm hoping that will continue on. I got some interesting guests coming up the next couple of weeks. By the way, we've had a pretty good run on guests last 10 days or so. We'll keep up with that. We may or may not have the first 2 hours Friday because the CF plays basketball. We'll be carrying that game, and so we'll do the sports hour Friday from Gateway Bank if that happens. Next week, we've got Dan Jenkins, the author, a new book called Semi-Memoir. Dan Jenkins' Semi-Memoir, the great writer. He's going to be with us at 5:15 on Monday. We got the sheriff, the chief of police will be on Monday promoting the healthy heart deal, the walk they got coming up. He'll be back on with us next week. Rachel Barbeau from up in Barbeau from out in Alabama, a well-known female broadcasters, formerly ACC sideline reporter, will join us on the show next week. So who else we got? We got George Albright coming to talk about the Mom Barker deal. They're going to resurrect the Mom Barker story again, and the museum is going to be having some artifacts from that. And George Albright, whose grandfather was involved in that, it was actually there when the shooting took place, and Mom Barker saw it, was going to be on the show next week. And Jim Ross of the Star Banner is scheduled to become. So we got a busy schedule coming up with what we hope is a good lineup of guests. And yes, go ahead and take the picture, Alaska. People, it's interesting how people just sort of walk up and they sort of befriend you and say, he's leaving his card here. Okay, thank you very much. Coming up just a minute, we got Fake and Factoid. That was kind of fun yesterday. Coming on the heels of
for who?
For us to see you get beat up so bad. Austin, he got hammered yesterday. Got hammered.
By who?
Yeah. Well, I
lost at Trivianator, then we played Fake or Factoid against callers, and I lost all of them. And then in the last game, I lost to Josh.
Man, he got hammered yesterday. It does us all a little bit good to see it happen, doesn't it?
Yes. It brings you back down to earth for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, not long. Not long.
Speaking of Josh LaSalva, on his way to the College of Central Florida to start texting us updates and maybe calling in from the men's state basketball tournament.
Very good, very good. I would like to go ahead and roll. Well, we don't have time now. I have to do it when I come back. But the story on sex trafficking, I still want to get the bite from the sheriff and the chief on. Maybe we'll get it in the next hour. But I think it's important to keep bringing those stories up. They're not always pleasant to hear about. But one thing I want to do in this show is try to bring light to subjects that are sometimes dark. I don't like dark things. I don't like dark television shows. One thing about True Detective is it's so dark. Even our Monday night James Spader shows got kind of dark. And so dark things kind of bother me, but sometimes you've got to bring light to dark things, and sometimes you have to tackle subjects like that. So we'll be checking in as we go along and talking about that, because we have to face up to the fact it's a real problem for not just the country or the world, it's for our community as well. It's here in our backyard. So we'll take a break, come back. You guys want to play Fake or Factoid now? You want to play it next hour? Which one? We'll see when we come back right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, the new old-fashioned bank. Let us introduce you to Ocus, a simple way to bring your business online. Through this relationship, your business can have a fully functioning website in less than 30 minutes. We will also provide you support with social media, sales tracking, e-commerce, and online scheduling, which is all optimized for mobile users. Ocus, now at Gateway Bank, Silver Springs Boulevard, Ocala. Come visit our technology center for your total small business solution. I'm Tom Ingram, and I'll see you there.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on.
WOCA.
look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah, whatsupocala.com.
When the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them. Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. For award information, go to jdpower.com. Call George Mangan Insurance in Ocala today. 352-732-3191. For illnesses and minor injuries, visit Family Care Specialists Urgent Care offices with 2 convenient locations. Our North Ocala office is at 1111 Northeast 25th Avenue, and our Bellevue office is at 4850 Southeast 110th Street, right next to Walgreens. The medical team at Urgent Care can also handle well child and well adult exams, school and work physicals, immunizations, laboratory services, EKGs, and x-rays. Most insurances are accepted. Walk-ins are welcome. Family Care Specialist Urgent Care for illnesses and minor injuries.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around.
All right, a couple of minutes to go to the final segment. We're going to revisit this real quick. We'll do tweets and quotes and save fake and factoid till next hour. That popular game, soon to be a TV show. Talked to the sheriff and the chief, Chris Blair, Greg Graham, last Friday about the issue of sex trafficking and whether it was something we should be concerned about and how they were involved in it. And this is what, first of all, Greg Graham, the chief of police, had to say about that.
It's like anything else that, once the right people find out about it and there's a movement for bringing more awareness to it, clearly more people know about it, but that's been a problem for years and years, and it's certainly a problem throughout the United States. And we've had cases in our own community of human trafficking that involves sex trafficking. We've actually made some cases on it too. But yeah, I think it's a bigger problem than a lot of people think it is.
All right, so they're aware of it, and it's something they're dealing with right now. And as you said, a bigger problem than people think it is. And Chris Blair, the sheriff, also talked about their very proactive position on this issue of sex trafficking and child abuse.
Well, the thing is, we had a number of cases, and we had one last year where the subject picked up a 16 and a 13-year-old. They were hitchhikers in Marion County, and basically we made a case against him, and he's doing 15 years with 10 years of probation. And we're presently working a couple cases right now with Florida Department of Law Enforcement on cases similar to that, and they're ongoing at this point. So within the next couple weeks. Might be a month, but we will be able to discuss those type cases. So they're ongoing investigations, so I can't get into the details of them. But you're right, buddy. It is here. It's in the state of Florida and throughout the country. So it's something that we got to become very, very proactive.
Tom, if you remember, I don't know, maybe last year, I saw a special on TV, and I came in and I said I had no idea what was happening overseas with kids being kidnapped and put into bondage. And this particular, I don't know if it was a PBS special or something I saw, it just hit me hard. I thought, wow, that's going on right now in this world? And it's so underground, you don't hear about it. And it's starting to bubble up now where it's in the mainstream media, and people need to be aware of this. This is a evil thing that's happening and it's happening to us in our community. The very idea of one of your own children being kidnapped and taken to become a sex slave someplace is just enough to make you want to go out and do something that Tom would do to most people if you got mad.
Slap them upside the head.
Anyway, that's that deal. All right, coming up next hour, we'll have Jeff Halcomb. I got him to weigh in on the issue of water and the water legislation, which is a little difficult to understand. So I need someone to be able to explain to me what that means and what we should know about it, because water can get a little bit complicated sometimes. My go-to guy is Jeff Halcomb, and he'll join us in about 20 minutes. We'll discuss the recent discussion about legislation for water, and he's got some really strong ideas. And I won't say he thinks it could be Armageddon, because that's not it, but he's seriously concerned about some things. And I think you'll be surprised when he puts into our terms what this means. So Jeff Halcomb, Director of Water and Sewer in Ocala, will join us. In the 5 o'clock hour, we'll have our friend Max Howell making an appearance again on the show. For those of you who don't remember, Max for years did a show called Conference Calls, Southern Sports Tonight. Alabama, Mississippi, coached some, and Max is an interesting guy and who's got a finger on Southern culture, that's for sure, and knows a lot about college football. Meanwhile, it's time to go out with a few tweets and quotes. This comes from Coco Chanel. Success is often achieved by those who don't know that failure is inevitable. Would you go ahead with something if you knew failure was inevitable?
No.
Probably wouldn't. Ignorance is bliss. Here's one from a Swedish proverb that goes like this. Worry often gives a small thing a great shadow. My wife always told her kids, don't borrow trouble. Don't worry about things that maybe aren't even real. So there's a Swedish proverb. And finally, for a little bit of humor today, we can always use a little humor, especially on a midweek. Will Ferrell, when life knocks me down, instead of getting back up, I usually lie there and take a nap.
I like that idea.
Will Ferrell. I don't know who writes his tweets, but obviously he doesn't do them, but it's kind of funny. And I am hooked on Twitter. I admit I go through, 400, 500 a day. Coming up next, Jeff Halcomb will join us on the Voice of Ocala right here on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Here in Florida, when you're looking to go to the beach, you've got hundreds of options. Theme parks, no shortage of options there either. But when it comes to home insurance, most companies have only one option. Allstate is different. Here in Florida, Allstate agents offer home insurance options from several companies, so they can help you get the coverage that's right for you. And they'll help you save on quality car insurance too. For starters, safe drivers save 45% with Allstate. So before you settle for just one option, talk to someone with many home and car insurance options. Your local Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
For more information, call the McDonald Agency at 352-622-2333 or visit us online at themcdonaldagency.com.
Allstate has no financial responsibility to you for any home insurance policy you purchase and would not be responsible for any claims. Allstate does not make any representations or accept liability related to operations of home insurance companies, including but not limited to their financial conditions. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name. Men, do you know your testosterone level? Are you experiencing decreased energy levels or unusual sleeping problems? Have you noticed you have less strength or endurance, decreased sex drive, increased irritability or depression? If so, you may be experiencing problems with low testosterone. If you're interested in a free testosterone screening, please call Renstar Medical Research at 352-629-5800. Again, that number is 352-629-5800.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
If you're a diabetic and have not had a complete eye exam in the last year, then you're taking a serious and unnecessary risk with your eyesight. Last year, over 25 million people were at risk of vision loss from diabetes, and only half of them had a diabetic eye examination. Ocala Eye wants to help you prevent unnecessary vision loss. That's why we created the Fast Track Diabetic Eye Exam to get you in quickly. Call Ocala Eye today at 352-351-7195 and make your appointment. Want to learn more about diabetic eye exams? Go to ocalaeye.com and click Fast Track. Don't take any chances with your eyesight. Schedule a Fast Track Diabetic Eye Exam at Ocala Eye. Call 352-351-7195 and see why more people are saying Ocala Eye really does look out for me.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Crash diets can literally warp our body because when you gain the weight back, which most people do, by the way, it can end up in completely different places. You get more stains and discoloration from red wine, but white wine is more acidic, so it can etch tooth enamel and makes your teeth even more vulnerable to stains from dark-colored food. Kids who miss the most sleep have the hardest time solving math problems and have the worst memory skills.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
WOCA, Ocala.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
ABC News Now, I'm Daria Albinger. You say you've cut down on sugar. Well, the World Health Organization says you're still probably getting too much. It says we should have no more than 5% of our daily calories from sugar to really make a difference in obesity and cavities. The SAT your college-bound kid is going to take is going to look a lot different than the one that you did. The College Board is making big changes to make the test reflect what high school students actually learn. The essay is now optional, and all students can get free online prep. Target wants to make sure it never has to deal with another mega data breach. The company's overhauling its information security and compliance operations and replacing its chief information officer. It could be butts out soon for e-cigarettes in more places. LA is joining New York and Chicago as the latest big city to approve new restrictions. The city councils outlawed vaping or inhaling e-cigarette vapors in most public places, including parks, many beaches, bars, and nightclubs. This is ABC News.
Oh, man, what is that smell?
Oh, I just opened the lettuce crisper.
We have a lettuce crisper? Everything gets old, even your shocks. So make sure you change your worn shocks at 50,000 miles. What are you doing? Put the top back on! Put the top back on!
I think it's moving.
Actual mileage may vary depending on driver ability, vehicle type, and the type of driving and road conditions. Purchase qualifying Monroe shocks or struts between now and April 30th and get a prepaid card worth up to $120 by mail-in offer. Restrictions apply. Learn more at Monroe.com.
You need a website. Why not do it yourself? You know your business. With Wix.com, you can create a professional website all by yourself. It's easy and free. With Wix.com, you don't need to be a programmer. Just use the intuitive drag-and-drop website builder. There's no limit to how creative you can be. It's your website, your style. Show the world what you can do. Create your own stunning website today. Go to Wix.com. It's easy and free.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
He's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei.
It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala.
Hoo-ah! You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
All right, hour two of the program. Voice of Ocala, glad to be with you on this overcast, kind of chilly day. Can't make up its mind if it wants to be spring, fall, winter, but we have a few more weeks of this kind of weather, and then I expect on the 21st of March, spring to roll in. I make sure you appropriately take care of all your flowers and your bushes and stuff, and you put as much city water as you want to on all your flowers, and nobody will care. Oh, wait a minute. The water cops are here. I can't say that. My friend Jeff Halcomb from the city of Ocala, Director of Water and Sewer, or Water Guru, as I call him, joins us on the program now. Jeff, good to see you again, my friend.
Good to be here. Thank you.
You stay busy. I try to call you, and it's like, well, he's in a meeting, or he's at a council meeting, or it's just water and sewer, Jeff. It's not rocket science.
It is water and sewer, but there's a there's a lot of other things going on, and I like to learn as much as I can. There's a lot of interesting things, topics, and it's fun to be around all that.
I'd like to thank you as my water intellectual. You're my go-to guy. When I see a story that this doesn't seem to, well, I'm easily confused anyway, but when I see a story that I just don't understand, I'm trying to interpret it, especially water politics, which is a whole nother subject.
Sure.
Maybe a subject that we just spend on a whole show on one day. But I'm not quite sure what it means. I can go to Jeff, and he will make sense out of it. And, in fact, he did that for me, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But politics is just inevitable when it comes to something like water. And we've had this discussion before, but some of the most powerful people in the state are the ones that seem to have something to say about where the water goes.
I'd say you're right.
So the old westerns that we used to read about the water fights over water and stuff, that still goes on almost, doesn't it? But not with bullets.
It still goes on, but when a lot of people think, though, when we say most powerful, that doesn't necessarily mean the people in the suits either.
Yeah, exactly. So what you wrote the other day, and I don't want to give it away just yet, so I'm going to wait and talk about it next. It's got to be, I don't know quite how your job plays into this for you, but I know you have a big heart for the environment and for being conscious about us good citizens being conscious of what we can do and what we should do.
Right.
And I know that you have been heavily involved in that over the years, and you have kind of you're not a guy who goes to work and just let me see how many gallons I can sell today. You have a real heart for this and a real conscience. And when you lay awake at night sometimes, do you worry about our water?
Absolutely. I worry about our water. I worry about what we think about our water. And most of all, what do people really believe is going to happen? And that is something magical going to happen, that we're always going to be able to have enough drinking water? Are we going to be able to clean the water? Are we going to be able to meet our current demands and future demands?
We all just assume, like a car, when you get in the car and turn the engine and it starts up and you drive it and it gets you to where you're going to go, that we're going to go to our faucets and turn it on and clean water is going to come out and we're going to be able to drink it, and it's not going to be an issue.
It's surprising how many people just turn the water on and never think twice what it cost to get there. I don't mean money. I'm not talking about money, but what it costs to get that water there.
Give me an example.
Number one, okay, I'll give you an easy example, is that to get water to somebody's house, it requires energy. Okay?
I hadn't thought about that.
So that energy comes from where? Okay, that energy comes from electric pump, electric motor, steam driven, the thing, list goes on. Well, all of that energy is produced by a company, and that company produces that energy either by solar, by electric, or by coal. So all of those are energy intensive resources that have to be used every day to get water just to your house. So if you do nothing else but care about the environment, about the pollution in the environment, consider that the less water we drink, the more natural resources we have available. And I'm not talking about water yet.
All right, so there's more than just the water. And, the aquifer, I think you described it beautifully in the thing that you wrote. It's kind of like our heart. It's our heart and soul. We're only as good as our aquifer is. And we tend to think it's a never-ending supply. And in this county, we're very fortunate that we have, I won't say an abundance of water, but when you look at it versus the coastal cities, we have a lot more options than they do. So who protects the aquifer? Because really, there's a lot of gateways to this aquifer. You can't stop them all. It's like the proverbial finger in the dike, isn't it?
Right, exactly. That's just like you mentioned earlier, is that to me, our water is our heart. And as long as you take care of it, it's going to be okay. But there's a lot of things that can happen to your heart, stuff that you try to control over and do your best job, and stuff still happens to your heart. So the water source is the same way. You're right. There's a lot of ways. Think of our water supply as like an open sponge. Not one of the man-made sponge, like a natural sponge you would see. There's a lot of ways that water can get in and out of there, but more importantly, there's a lot of ways for nitrates and other pollutions to get in the water also.
I've asked you this question before, and I'll ask you again. You can think about it during the break and come back, but what's in our water? It seems to be very clean compared to other communities. At least it seems that way, but I'm not a scientist. I couldn't break it down. What's in our water, and what's it like to every day make sure that you've got the highest quality possible? What goes into that project? And then I want to ask you, exactly how did you get into this business of water? What led you down this pathway? Why couldn't you have been like a rock and roll guitar player or something, whatever? You don't have to answer that now, but you're laughing. Maybe he didn't want to be a rock and roll player. I don't know. It's a possibility. Maybe a football coach. I don't know. You never know about that. So, all right, Jeff Halcomb is our guest. He's the Director of Sewer and Water for the City of Ocala. All-around good citizen and a guy who cares about our community, which is what we like about him. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Got lots more to talk about. And if you have a question, Tom, they can text us.
They can. 352-507-5352. We'll take your questions for Jeff Halcomb on 352-507-5352 right here on The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
Here's Sheriff Chris Blair of the Marion County Sheriff's Office talking about community involvement.
Your thoughts about giving and about giving back, and what your model is for that.
From our perspective, it's in us, to serve our community. That's what we wanted to do probably as young men, and we came up that way. And it's just so important to make sure, as the chief said, that we keep our community safe. And so in doing that, we try to work with organizations throughout the community. If they have needs that they need, we certainly jump in and try to help them out.
Now remember to catch Ask the Cops every second and fourth Friday of the month right here on WOCA, brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, lawyer, fighting for accident victims' justice since 1976.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name.
Ocala Radio, WOCA.
On March 8th at 2 p.m., Tom McElroy, international speaker on the healing power of prayer, will present Purpose, Letting Your Brilliance Shine Through at the Weber Conference Center, College of Central Florida. And on Friday, the 7th of March at 10:30 a.m., Mr. McElroy will be our guest on AM Ocala Live to give us a preview. First Church of Christ Scientist is providing this free event for you to explore fresh ideas and find the good in life. So be sure to tune in on Friday, the 7th of March at 10:30 and learn more about the power of prayer.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hey, you guys, this is Lou, and if you don't want to be a dirty little bird sitting on a crib eating dirty white wines, you better head on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs. They got the best, the juiciest, tastiest char-grilled hot dogs, burgers, solid filet of fish and chicken, and 90% fat-free pulled pork barbecue. That's a little sweet and a little spicy. You know, Dairy Queen doesn't use processed and formed junk like the competition. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, home of the real $5 lunch.
News Talk 1370, WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults, so use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
This is Tom Schmitz live in the WOCA studios with this news break brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. County Commission Chairman Carl Zalek complained Tuesday that a tentative deal between Sheriff Chris Blair and deputies union that features pay raises could generate blowback for the board. According to a story in Ocala.com, comments that Zalek made at Tuesday's commission meeting, he said he was really concerned about the proposed contract under which rank-and-file deputies could reap an annual 3% raise. On Monday's Blair negotiators asked union leaders to help petition the board to approve the raises. The agreement, Zalek said, was basically just putting us in a position where it's always the county commission's fault. That is, if the raises are not approved. This news break was brought to you by the Angie Lewis State Farm Agency. Join Angie weekly for her Biz Buzz, her Good Neighbor Award.
A brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it.
Like Rodney King said, can't we all just get along?
It's, you know.
It's one of those things that we always have warring factions, county, city, what have you. I'm hopeful this is going to get better. I'm encouraged a little bit by the committee that I've been reading about that are getting together groups of people from the city and the county. I call it the super committee to study the 1 cent sales tax, see if there's a way to divide it up and whatever who has the best need or the biggest need will get most of the money. It'll be interesting how that comes out because you've got a mixed committee, county and city. It'd be nice if they could work together. We'll see. Jeff Halcomb, I wrote you earlier in the week, and we'll get around to your rock and roll career in a minute after this. You're still glowing after that Gator victory last night. Michael Frazier's 37-point performance, 11 threes. It's dazzling, wasn't it?
That was awesome.
I sent you this email last week. A story out of the Star Banner, a story about Will Weatherford, the Speaker of the House. he told a news service that said, while he is sensitive to water legislation being formulated, the issue is too widespread for handling one legislative session. Said we will focus on issues, quote unquote, we can control. He was quoted as saying, I think we'll tackle a lot of the funding issues this year. I think it's an opportunity for us to address some of the policy issues. But water, this is what I want to get to, but water is so broad. You have water quality, you have water quantity, water infrastructure, and how we move water resources. I have the written response here from you, which I thought was pretty good. And I don't know if I'm going to read it all or not, but it's a long document. But why don't you just articulate the first part about that, about targets. I'll read this. You said there are too many moving targets. We can't get our hands around them, and they are too political. What did you mean by that?
What I mean is, in reference to his comments that were made, and I was up in Tallahassee last week, and we were looking at getting some grant funding for some water and wastewater projects that we're doing, and just like a lot of other people were. But they are a busy bunch of people. I mean, they're nonstop. People like me coming up and talking to them, and it's a wonder if they get anything done. But when I say there's too many moving targets, it's convenient for us. If you even have a family, it's convenient for you to say, I can't get to that. I got this more important thing to do. In the water, we've got to make a choice. And that is, do we want to have a water resource or not? And there are a lot of targets. In South Florida, they're wondering how they're going to get, reclaim water up to the standards it needs to be so they can replace some of their drinking water needs so they're not putting it out in the ocean outfall. A little closer home to Vero Beach, they're looking at the canals, how to revert some of the flow back away from the Sebastian Inlet area into the St. Johns River. More local here, they're looking at, where's our water, what's at minimum flows and levels. Up north, they're looking at Swanee River, where's the flows at, where they're going. There's a lot of things that people are looking at. Fracking, for example. Is fracking a good thing? What's that going to do to our water source? And so there's a lot of issues that all over the state of Florida, and there are a lot of them. But to me, that's, I hate to say that, but I'm going to, I guess, it's not an excuse for us we're smart enough. We are smart enough to look at these problems and divvy out these problems to people who know these problems and work on them. So it's not really a good excuse to me just not to say that they're too broad, there's too many. So that's kind of where there's too many moving targets is what I say. There's a lot of good shooters out there.
Maybe I need to call Michael Frazier in. Well, of all the things you said, for whatever reason, maybe it's just the word, what scares me is fracking.
Yes. Fracking scares me, and deep well injection scares me, because if you listen to everybody, and I spend a lot of time reading, but I don't know everything, but I spend a lot of time reading, and one of the things that I'm concerned with is that in our aquifer situation where we are in Florida, and you look at the history of our water and what little things that humans can do that can upset that flow, just what fracking will play is to me a real tough one.
I have this visual in my brain. I know it's probably not accurate of the aquifer just being split in half one day or something. It scares me when I think about that. Back to your other comment, I think you're right on the money when you said, from your perspective, this whole thing is a good example and a proof of our polarized society.
Yes.
And I've said that 100 times on this show.
Right.
We're so busy with our own agenda, we can't see anything reasonable. We can't see any rationale. We can't reason anymore. It's like this is my position, and I'm going to defend it. And I think, as you pointed out, if we just recognize that maybe somebody else has got a good idea sometime, that would be one way to start and say, hey, let's look at that. I'm sure there were a lot of people that thought you were crazy in the head when you said, give me $180,000, I want to dig for some more water and find out if there's water down there in the aquifer.
Yeah, there's people probably still think I'm crazy for doing that.
Well, the problem is you were right.
Right.
You were correct, as I've said on this show before, and that's why the New York Times wrote a story about the whole thing, is you found the source of water down there. Now, I don't know if the folks in Orlando might be happy about that, because it didn't to our south aquifer, so another straw in that drink. But I mean, I guess what I'm asking you is What can we do about these issues of water? You mentioned a couple.
Yeah.
What are some of the things we can do?
Yeah. What I kind of tried to do was to break it down into chewable pieces. Okay, and that is I kind of called it tiers. Okay, and the first tier.
ERS.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, could be TER. Yeah, that's pretty good, buddy.
Water. Water.
But the first two are really easy, and that is we just got to reduce the amount of water we use, and the other one we've got to reduce the amount of fertilizer we use. Those are two easy things that doesn't cost anybody anything. And what I mean is that most of the time, in a residential scenario, we put too much fertilizer on our yards anyway. There are a lot of plants that we put too much fertilizer. And a lot of times because we put the incorrect fertilizer, to be honest with you. But on...
who knows what to put on? I mean, you go down and look at all these bags of, one of the Home Depot or whatever it is. You don't know what they've got to put on there. And
I can tell you who some awesome people.
Okay,
and we got them right here in Marion County, and that's the Marion County Extension. And the Master Gardener Program. Those are all valuable resources that people could get in tune with. Go to meetings. They have meetings. There's a lot. I forget how many Master Gardeners are in Marion County, but I'd say there's probably 300 Master Gardeners. And I probably got that wrong. Somebody will call in maybe. But I know there's quite a few.
Yeah.
A couple of my really good friends are Master Gardeners. And if they don't know the answers, they know how to get the answers. So there's a lot of things, a lot of options we have that we can minimize the amount of fertilizer.
Okay.
And then on yards, I don't know how many times, and I tell you this every time I come on here, how many times I see a day like today, people watering their grass. I don't know how many times I see when it rains, people are irrigating their yard because they're not sure how to turn on and off their sprinkler heads or their irrigation system.
Guilty. I did that once before.
Yes.
But my wife knows how to do it, so as long as she's, okay.
Thank God for our wives, right? Where would we be without them?
Exactly. Point me the direction of work and let me go.
That's right. But anyway, those are two simple things, two easy things that we can get a handle on. And even in ag has done a lot of work, but we want ag to do a little bit more. Ag can do a lot of work in looking at their fertilizer use and how they use fertilizers and the manner they use them. I know that a lot of people talk about ag, and we want them to be competitive with other countries. So there's some great studies up there. IFAS does some studies and uses ag a lot for trying to work through things. So there's a lot of things that we can do. It's like turning back around when we were looking at the bills, and I said there were moving targets and they become too political. If you look at the legislative agenda every year, there are hundreds of bills. It's like if you look at how many chemicals are created every year in this country, it's mind-boggling. So at some point in time, there's already been enough done. We just have to utilize is what's there. Like the one thing I see all the time is that if you look on the state statute, it's 381.00655, I think. I think that's what it is anyway.
It's okay with me.
Sounds good to us.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a fact checker out there, but and they'll probably think, well, he was right. But anyway, it talks about septic tanks, about getting folks off of septic tanks and what to do with septic tanks, because septic tanks, no matter how good they are, unless they're the newfangled kind that are aerobic kind that has pumps and things like that, they don't remove nitrogen. So we've got to come up, and there's a bill this year coming up in the Florida State Legislature system where they're looking at that to figure out how can we fund programs to get people off of septic tanks onto a central sewer system.
Jeff, you hear all the time people, and I've had this conversation with people. Jeff Halcomb talks a good game, and he knows his water, and he's in tune with what's going on in the city. But I got a well in the county. I don't affect the city. I can do whatever I want to do. That's not accurate, is it?
It's not accurate. It would be nice if it was that simple. And I kind of gave you a chart there. I know nobody can see it on TV, but or on TV.
Well, we got TV.
We got TV.
Lots of nice colors.
Yeah. And basically what we look at is how many gallons per capita a day an average household use. If you're out in the county and you have your own well, if you have your own irrigation well, you're using water the same way that somebody in a city would be using water. And I want to say wasting water most of the time is that we're drinking, we're irrigating, we're contaminating all the same water that everybody is drinking contaminating and irrigating with. So it all comes from the same place. So everybody has a play in this. It's not just, as some of the websites say about the city of Ocala, for example, that they're the big gulp wells. That's not necessarily true. You know, we use on average in the city, this year it's around 93 gallons per capita a day. I think probably back in 2005, 2006, it might have got up to 104 gallons per capita a day.
Funny you should mention that. I have this chart in front of me here.
Do you?
It was 92.8, and then we got up to 107.4 in 2007.
So I wasn't too far off?
But you weren't exact. I'm exact.
Okay, thanks. Touche. But anyway, to answer your question, Tom, people in the city drink water just like people out in the county, so it's all one source.
Because I have a guy, a friend of mine, that he has about 4 acres that he uses as farmland. And he will argue till the day is done. I got a well for my house and a well for my garden. I'm not hurting anybody's water supply by watering my garden whenever I want to. And he waters it constantly. He has the nicest tomatoes, green beans, everything. But I think he may water way too much. And he says it doesn't affect it because it's his well, so his water is not affecting everybody else's water.
Right.
Yeah, because it's his aquifer, I guess.
So if you could imagine that one person, which is not, I mean, in his ideal world, he's right. But if you multiply that person times several 100,000, then the game begins to change.
All right, we got a caller. By the way, if you'd like to call Jeff, 622-9622, the Climate Control Hotline, as Dan has done. Dan, what's your question for our guests?
Great show here today, but I appreciate all you do for the county. Jeff, we've been talking for years. Everyone says, reduce, reuse, recycle. Isn't really the bottom line we're just getting too many people in this world?
Sure. I mean, absolutely. I mean,
I always hear people say if you just use an LED light, it would save energy. Well, isn't it really the biggest factor? There's too many people in the state using too much, just a finite amount of water.
Yeah, I mean, you actually got to. I mean, that's a great argument, but the quest for that is, what are you going to do about it? So,
well, I understand that, but I think someday we're really going to have to address it, and it may be sooner than we think. I mean, but no one ever talks about it.
Right, you're right. We're going to, like, the city is 92.8 gallons per capita a day. But yes, even if we got to 40 gallons per capita a day, if the population continues to grow and we continue to, live with outside our means, we're going to have to pay for it sooner or later.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I just wish thank you, guys.
Appreciate your call. And by the way, there's a correlation between the amount of rainfall, which we'll get to in a minute. But first, we have a text can for you.
Bobby has texted, you're talking about all the nitrates that get into the water and all from fertilizer and all, but how much of the nitrogen and nitrates come from farm animals?
There is a great portion of that comes from farm animals, but it's not as much as from man-made fertilizers. So there's several studies out there, and you can look at them online, that most of the man-made fertilizers are the fertilizers that are hard to deal with on a level that Mother Nature can take of them. In other words, Mother Nature has a great way of being able to take care of her own business as long as we don't put man-made chemicals in there and make it hard to break down those
Organic's
nitrates.
okay then.
Organic is okay.
All right, you started with the first tier, and you reached the second point here, which we'll get to real quick before we go to break. But if you don't know, how can you do anything about it? And you mentioned education. And let's face it, let's be honest.
Yep.
Water is not a real sexy topic, okay? It just isn't.
Neither is wastewater.
Yeah, neither is wastewater. I mean, it isn't until you don't have any. Then it becomes
that's
very
right.
important.
Yep.
It's like gas.
Sure.
Until we got gas lines, it was just pumping your gas.
Absolutely.
And going on. So what about the education part of that?
Well, education part of it is, and I go to meetings and I talk to a lot of people, meet a lot of great people, and one of the things they say is that we've been educating ourselves to death. And that may be true, but what are we educating ourselves? Are we really hitting on the right topic? And the right topic is that for us to realize, like the callers are kind of coming in, is at some point there's going to have to be some strategies that really take a look at the hard subject. And the hard subject is, do you want to do something about population? Do you want to do something about all the kind of nitrates in? If you're going to do that, it's going to take an investment by all, just not one.
Jeff Halcomb, the Director of Water Series, our special guest. You weren't going to be a rock and roll star, were you? Did you ever play air guitar?
You're going to let me talk about it?
Yeah, just give me.
I actually, this is kind of silly, but I was dating a model when I was younger. Before I met my wife, I would
hope it was before you met your wife.
But your wife's a lot better looking. Let me just say that.
Yeah,
get that in right now, right?
Yeah,
I didn't know either one of them, but I just know she was better.
That's for sure. But they had. I had been approached several times to actually model clothes, and it was kind of funny that you said that. So,
well, yeah, well, it could have been a model.
But I'm sure not good. That was funny about it is I'm sure not good looking enough to do that.
I don't know. You look like Urban Meyer.
I know. I hate that when you say that.
Grow a little. Get his hair longer, buddy. He may have been Fabio. You don't know.
Yeah. We're through 2 tiers. We're going to go to the next one on elbow grease, and much more to come. You can contact us by calling the Climate Control Hotline at 622-9622 or text us at
352-507-5352. You can reach us either way on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Men, do you know your testosterone level? Are you experiencing decreased energy levels or unusual sleeping problems? Have you noticed you have less strength or endurance, decreased sex drive, increased irritability or depression? If so, you may be experiencing problems with low testosterone. If you're interested in a free testosterone screening, please call Rinstar Medical Research at 352-629-5800. Again, that number is 352-629-5800. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, the new old-fashioned bank. Let us introduce you to Ocus, a simple way to bring your business online. Through this relationship, your business can have a fully functioning website in less than 30 minutes. We will also provide you support with social media, sales tracking, e-commerce, and online scheduling, which is all optimized for mobile users. Ocus, now at Gateway Bank, Silver Springs Boulevard, Ocala. Come visit our technology center for your total small business solution. I'm Tom Ingram, and I'll see you there.
WOCA, Ocala.
Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
Beautiful Moments Party Rentals presents Showcase Under the Stars, a bridal affair to remember. This event has it all. Caterers, photographers, florists, DJs, venues, and more. All gathered in one place and all there to help you plan your special day. Brides, bring your bridesmaids and friends alike. This is the event you don't want to miss. There will be food, fun, trivia games, and prizes with different wedding-themed areas to explore. Tickets are only $10 and Beautiful Moments Party Rentals is donating 100% to the United Way of Marion County. Advance tickets can be purchased at Beautiful Moments Party Rentals, 3400 Southwest 60th Avenue in Ocala. Showcase Under the Stars takes place on March 13th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., so make plans to be there. Again, that's March 13th at Beautiful Moments Party Rentals from 5 to 9 p.m. If you have any questions, just give them a call. 307-8180. That's 307-8180. And make your plans to attend the Showcase Under the Stars. Showcase Under the Stars.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Jeff Halcomb worked at a grocery store, he said, and one night carried groceries out for somebody and got a part-time job working in the water department, and next thing you know, he becomes a water czar. So there's hope for us all out there.
The rest is history, as they say.
History, exactly. Look at this rain chart, by the way. Gosh, as bad as it's been, we've been leveled off pretty good over the last 7 years. 2006 set us back a good ways. It was a horrible year, 42.08 for the year. But it's been about. I was under the impression we were doing better on our rainfall. Is 2014 starting out better or not?
Mm-hmm, yeah,
we got a lot of water.
Yeah, we did pretty good 2013 and 2014. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Talking about education, I think it's was your one of your points.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I get some of the things we got to do. You made me guilt. You guilted me into going and getting a new toilet. Okay, finally after all these years, because it doesn't take as much water, and it was worn out. Now I have one more to go in the house, but I got one, so I'm doing a little better. I'm saving a little bit of water there. I've heard you talk before, everything from leaky faucets to what have you. Give us again that little list of things that we could do to sort of be concerned about every drop that's wasted of water.
Right. The number one waster of water in the state of Florida is irrigation systems. Most of the time, they're not functioning as they should. They might have the heads might not be working right. The heads may be water in your driveway. There might be water in the sidewalk or out in the street. And then sometimes, like I said earlier, that they go off time just because of daylight savings time, which is coming up really soon. So you got to adjust those. So that's the biggest use. The second biggest use is when you using your dishwasher. Why not just wait until it fills up before you do it? Because that consumes quite a bit of water. So there's taking a bath, taking a shower longer than 5 minutes. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to take a shower in 5 minutes.
It is for me. I got to go at least 10 on a shower.
But if you don't irrigate, hey, you got a chance there.
It works it out, yeah. And you can, by the way, just drink scotch and no water. Just look.
Hey, the ice melts and creates the water.
But you can use those fancy frozen rocks and you're okay.
Buddy, we just had a text message come through that this has nothing to do with water, but it does have something to do with Jeff Halcomb.
Yeah.
A listener would like to congratulate Jeff as him and his wife just celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
25th wedding anniversary.
Yeah, what's weird about that is that, that's the silver anniversary. I never really paid any attention because my wife and I ride bicycle 15 miles about every other day, and my wife works out a lot. And so we had this anniversary, and we were opening up presents, and somebody gave us something silver, and it kind of dawned on me we're on our silver anniversary. Is kind of a shocker.
Congratulations. What's your wife's name?
Laura.
Yep. Congratulations to Laura, particularly.
That's right, for sure.
That was you for 25 years.
Yeah, but appreciate whoever text said that. That's awesome.
Nice.
That would be a listener, Carrie.
Okay. Carrie's awesome.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, on to the next. I ought to name this document. Like there'll be some fancy name we can give this document of your proclamation on water. It's very good. I'm going to read this because I think this is really good. Tier 3. We've all whined enough. Let's get to work. I do not need to see any more pictures of a dead spring. I want to see every class of people showing up for a work day at spring. I want everyone to realize it is going to cost money to build, construct, operate, clean up, and maintain, quote, a healthy water heart. Our aquifer is our heart. Don't take care of it, and there will be consequences. When it stops being what is my share, what it stops being about what is my share and about how cheap I can get by, then we may be able to open up to real progress. That's very well put, very well put. I get what you're saying. It's our share. We can't worry about what's our share. As you said, it's universal. It's all of our water.
Correct, because what we hear a lot, what I hear a lot when I give public speaking is that somebody else says, well, Joe down the road is irrigating like crazy. Why should I irrigate? And that's just not the right kind of attitude to take. And I know we bring up Adena Springs. We might as well bring it up because somebody will or think about it. But, people are saying, well, if the Water Management District gives Adena Springs, their permit, why should we conserve? Well, for the same reason that the one caller talked about earlier is that at some point in time, this is all going to catch up to us. And I think the Water Management District realizes that someday, and our days right now is at 2035, it's going to catch up to us. At 2035, the Water Management Districts believe that we'll have overdrawn the aquifer ability to recharge by 40 million gallons a day. Now, that should mean something to somebody. It should mean something to everybody. In other words, it seems like there's only a few that really care when every one of us who get up and brush our teeth, take a shower, and eat and do everything with water should realize that our water is a precious resource.
And then you get into options like desalinization, which doesn't prove out to be very good in other countries, what they've done. They're having a hard time growing things where they're desaled. So whole other topic for some other time. The fourth tier is, and this is where the optimism comes in, what you call a winnable endeavor. And you said earlier, break it down to pieces that people can chew on and eventually swallow. What do you mean by that?
I hope that if anybody's out there that really listen and has been through a lot of life stories, that if you look at some of the problems that we have today, you think that it's impossible for us to surmount those problems. But if you can break them down into pieces where somebody's expertise lies in them and let them do their work and stand out of their way, each one of us has a piece. Each one of us has an expertise. Each one of us has a piece that we can put this puzzle together and do some good work. Like when you have on Mark Emery. You have Mark Emery on here all the time.
Yes, we do.
Shoots beautiful pictures. Mm-hmm. Well, Mark Emery can be a great asset to this community, to our springs. There's 1,022 springs, as Rob Knight says. So, he has a good piece. But there's business that has a great piece too, because business has the ability to be able to say no to some of the comp plan changes that are out there, and citizens have a no to say or yes to some of the comp plan changes. So there's a lot we can do, and there's a lot we can work together on.
This is perception, and then we'll go to breaks. We want you to do something important after that, like play fake or factoid.
Okay.
And that is that the problem with water is that people see the people in charge as a big, powerful monarchy that makes decisions. So with the St. Johns River or whatever, and they see it as government. They see it as bureaucracies. And in reality, it's not that. As you say, wouldn't it be better if we had a water coalition of everyday people, like you just said? Mark Emery, Bob Knight, whoever, we all have an interest in this as water advocates saying, hey, it's ours. Let's protect it. It's part of our environment. Let's be aware of this. And then again, being aware of it, where do you go to be aware of it? Most people aren't going to sign up for a water seminar, just aren't going to do it. So what you're doing right here today, right now, in the mainstream media is, my opinion, the way to get the word out to people about you got to know about this. You have to be aware of it. Otherwise, we got no shot.
Right. Well, one thing to remember, like say for the city of Ocala's Water and Sewer Department, we're basically a nonprofit organization. Mm-hmm. Every bit of the money that we bring into there is put right back into the county or the city one way or the other. In other words, we're either paying off debt for bills we had, or we're building infrastructure, repairing infrastructure, or modifying our treatment plants to come up to standards. So, there's a lot of things that people think that we just, hold money and do who knows what with it. But, we are trying to be responsible with our money.
Yeah, I think you humanize it somewhat. I think you're the face of water around here, pal. Let's see how smart you are coming up next. We'll see if you can take on Tom over here. And
he has no shot.
Beat his brains out in fake or factoid.
No shot.
Stay tuned. This is going to be like the Cobra and the Mongoose.
I heard Tom will be the easy one now that Austin and you guys will be the tough one.
Tom's still bruised from yesterday.
Shot.
Tom is bruised pretty bad from yesterday. We'll find out next right here in the Voice of Ocala with Jeff Halcomb.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, it's Lisa Midget with Kinetic Motion Fitness. I'm looking forward to a fun, healthy summer, and I have a few ideas that might just help you and your friends stay in shape and have fun too. Along with awesome personal training and group classes at our warm and inviting fitness studio, we also offer fitness classes at your home or business. And if you're tired of the same old, boring cake and punch party, why not let us host a hot new health trend, a fitness party at your home or office? If you're having a hard time getting to the gym this summer, because of your crazy schedule, then work out with your friends or coworkers in a private group fitness class or host a fitness party at your home or office. We will bring you and your friends or coworkers one of our great workouts like Zumba, Pilates, Body Bar, Yoga, Tai Chi Boot Camp, or Zumba Tonics for kids. We can even help you reach your long-term goals by meeting at your place weekly for an on-location workout. Check out our website at kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. Kinetic Motion Fitness is located just 5 minutes from downtown Ocala near the Skylark Plaza. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Stacy Caldwell, the College Board's Vice President of the SAT, coming on to speak to us about changes to the SAT exam and what those changes mean for parents, students, and teachers.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events served bite-sized.
And then Dr. Vivian Fonseca is coming on, a professor of medicine and pharmacology at Tulane University Health Sciences Center, coming on to speak to us about the importance of controlling cholesterol so it does not lead to heart disease.
Then join Hank Whittier and our veterans on Veterans News.
And then let's talk golf with Jim Beckett. He's a PGA professional and the founder of the Golf College down at Links of Spruce Creek South.
Peter Leonard is a best-selling novelist. He'll be on the air speaking about his new book, Eyes Closed Tight.
And then Strive Physical Therapy will be in the studio. We'll have some therapists from Strive talking about what they do to make sure that you feel better after you needed some therapy. All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Hi, this is Brad. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a pilot's license. This will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
There's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven.
It's almost sacrilegious to interrupt that until that chord change there. I had to get that in.
Right.
Stairway to heaven. Jeff, before we go to our fake or factoid contest, you got some things you want to get in here about that people should know about. So why don't you tell them?
Yeah, just real quick, a couple things is on May 12th through the 17th, it's Public Utilities Week. And if you go on ocalafl.org and go to Utility Services site, there should be some information there that can help you know where all that it is and what kind of activities we're going to have for that entire week. I hope that we can get folks out to see what it is that the electric guys do and the water and sewer guys do, the telecom guys do, and ladies, and also customer service. And on March the 29th is the Lyman's Rodeo. It's out by the Ocala Sportsplex. It is an awesome thing to see, to watch the teams come from all over the states of Florida to see them climb the poles and do their work. It's pretty cool.
All right, thank you for that. Time now for our fake or factoid. We're going to rip through this real fast to see if Jeff can knock off the guys. Number one, you use up 3/4 of your memory capacity by age 65.
Fake.
Fake.
3 fakes, all correct. Number two, the human attention span maxes out at about 10 minutes. Except in Tom's case, it's 10 seconds.
Fact.
10
Fact. Fake.
Who said fake?
Me.
That's a miss. It's fact. 10 minutes. Number three, spiders use hydraulic pressure in their legs to move. When they die, the liquid drains out, which is why their legs curl up.
Fact.
Fake.
Tom, you missed one. It's fact. Number four, most beetles have a smelling radius of 30 feet.
Fact.
Anybody want to change their answer?
Yeah, I would change it to fake.
Good decision. It's fake. What's the score, Tom?
2 for Jeff, 2 for Tom, none for Austin.
Awesome. Coming back from... All right. You should get this one, Jeff. Raindrops actually don't fall in teardrop form. That's a myth. Instead, they look more like the top half of a hamburger bun.
Fact.
Anybody want to change their answer?
No.
All right, you're all correct. It's fact. Here we go into the second round. Russia has 15 secret cities. Their location is unknown, not on maps, has no road signs, and visits are prohibited.
Fact.
Fake.
Tom says fake. Tom is wrong. It's fact.
I'm out.
Tom's out. Now it's just Austin.
Of course, I don't know how
Jeff.
you have a city nobody knows about and it be a city.
There you go. It is actually as cold in Duluth, Minnesota as it is in Siberia.
I'd say fact.
Anybody want to change their answer? Both of you are wrong. It's fake. Is anybody out now?
Probably warmer.
Who?
Jeff's out.
All right. Austin comes back winner. The last question would have been, a hard-boiled egg will spin, an uncooked or soft-boiled egg will not.
Fact.
Yeah, that was correct. All right. We're out of time.
What's the number? You got a number?
Yeah, real fast. How many million years ago there was the first horse introduced? It was called Ephesus, the dawn horse, tiny, weighing only 12 pounds, standing 40 inches high. How many years ago did that happen?
11 million.
Anybody else? Number?
350,000.
350,000?
Yeah.
2 million.
2 million. 60 million years ago.
I knew it was a long time ago.
Yeah. I wasn't even around then. Jeff, thanks for coming. It's always a pleasure. Jeff Alcom, Director of Water and Sewer. Stay tuned for the sports page coming up next. Many topics, many guests right here in the voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
I don't feel the sun's coming out today. Staying in.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz of the Voice of Ocala, heard daily on these airwaves from 3 to 6 p.m. People always come up and ask me, is Buddy Martin really a nice guy to work with? And I always tell them, sure, he's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. It's a pleasure working with Buddy every day. It's almost like no work at all. Did that sound believable? I mean, wait, is this still on? 352-507-5352. 352-507-5352. 352-507-5352.
Tom.
352-507-5352.
Tom!
What?
What is that phone number?
Oh, that's our new number for the Voice of Ocala text line, 352-507-5352. If you want to reach Buddy, me, or any of y'all via text. So all you got to do is text 352-507-5352 anytime.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
You know, Austin, I'm sitting here at the computer looking at our Facebook page, and boy, we really need to tell more listeners about our Facebook page.
No, Tom, so you got it all wrong. Twitter is the new age.
What's a tweeter?
No, a Twitter, Tom. The Voice of Ocala has a Twitter.
We do? Well, how do we tell our listeners about that?
All they have to do is get the Twitter app or go to twitter.com, type in Voice of Ocala in the search box, and click follow.
All right, well, what's the tweeter do?
The Voice of Ocala's Twitter page updates all of its followers on the latest news, guests, giveaways, and contests.
Oh, okay. But couldn't listeners just tune in weekdays from 3 to 6 to 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, or even go to online at WOCA.com? Wouldn't that be easier?
Yeah, okay, maybe.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Wear it, Florida. Mainly cloudy and mild tonight with a shower, low 61 to 67. A couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm tomorrow, then mostly cloudy. Storms can bring torrential downpours and damaging winds, high 75 to 83. Variable cloudiness Friday, high 71 to 80. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
Hi, this is Joe from Damage Control Services. Join me Tuesdays at 10:30 when we discuss what to do when your property gets damaged, how to fix it fast, and get back on track. At Damage Control, we specialize in helping home and business owners recover from damage caused by floods, fires, storms, tree damage, mold, and all other insurance-related disasters. So when disaster strikes, big or small, call Damage Control Services. Call me, 352-817-6574.
352-507-5352. 352-507-5352. 352-507-5352.
Tom.
352-507-5352.
Tom!
What
is that phone number?
Oh, that's our new number for the Voice of Ocala text line, 352-507-5352. If you want to reach Buddy, me, or any of y'all via text. So all you got to do is text 352-507-5352 anytime.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
ABC News Now, I'm Daria Albinger. Gone are those obscure vocabulary words and the math you'd never use in real life. Those are two big changes the SAT is making to the college entrance exam. The College Board wants it to reflect what high school students really learn. Another change, the essay will be optional for some schools. You probably know a same-sex couple who's tied the knot or is starting a family, and you're fine with it. An ABC News Washington Post poll found record numbers of Americans support gay marriage and adoption by gay couples. Your carpet may stay cleaner if you take your shoes off when you get home, but you probably won't be any healthier. A Columbia University study says you can pick up lots of grime and even a harmful bacteria or two in a really clean office building. It's also almost impossible for that bacteria to get from your shoes to you. In case you didn't know, today is International Good Deeds Day. We think the name pretty much sums it up. So go ahead. You still have plenty of time today to do your part. This is ABC News.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists, who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com, or call 877-938-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Good day. This is Scott for Scott's Turf Builder Bonus S Weed and Feed. The fine folks at Scott's have created a perfect potion for St. Augustine lawns here in Florida, formulated to terminate dollar weed and clover with extreme prejudice. That's a good thing. And now for the bonus. Scott's Bonus S also provides your lawn with essential nutrients. Learn more at scotts.com. Go on, put down some Scott's Turf Builder Bonus S this weekend. Feed your lawn. Feed it.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the phone house at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
All right, time for Buddy Sports Page. Got basketball going on right now as we speak at Patriots Gym. Tonight, the Patriots take on number 1 ranked Chipola. We'll see what happens there. It's going to be a tough night for Coach Ryan and the guys, but Tom says they're going to win, so we'll see. Also, got soccer going on today. And how can we not talk about what happened last night in Columbia, South Carolina, where Michael Frazier II absolutely lit up the sky with three-pointers. Most three-pointers ever scored in an SEC game, SEC competition. Now, there have been others that have been scored more, not playing against non-SEC competition, but never in an SEC game. It was phenomenal. And coming on the heels of the LeBron night the night before, well, LeBron scored 61. You wondered if Frazier had wanted to, and Billy Donovan seemed out to do it. Maybe he could have scored 50 last night, but he just couldn't miss. It was a thing of beauty to watch.
It really was. And I said earlier in the show, he could have hit from 13 rows up sitting in the bleachers. It wouldn't have mattered.
Might have hit one of those Magic Bird. Was it Magic Bird?
When they were Michael
McDonald's.
Jordan and Bird and Magic and Bird when they were doing the McDonald's
stuff,
commercial.
Bouncing off of the buildings and stuff like that. It was phenomenal, and it just makes you realize what a good shooter he is, and it also is a tribute to Billy Donovan, who has been at times had to force him to say, shoot the ball, Michael, you're a shooter. Don't worry about missing, shoot the basketball. This is all season he's been telling me this. He's just a sophomore.
I think this comes at a really good time, though, because now he has this breakout game where he has like 11 threes, and now he's got this confidence, and a shooter's confidence this time of the year, I think would be great for him.
It's a great point. Here's the other side of that. All the coaches in the SEC tournament now are saying, all right, let's draw it up. He doesn't get a shot off.
Okay, so then Casey Prather will have a great game.
No, that's my point. And then all of a sudden, Patrick Young goes for 30. You know what I mean?
Or Scotty Wilbeck, you go for 26.
Yeah. So it's what you want. On the other side of that coin is a 3-point shooter. A shooter can go cold in the tournament. Defense wins for you in tournaments. And Michael Frazier might not get but 10. Well, this is the kind of team that can pick him up. But you're right. It was a great time to break out and send the message and make his marks. And not only that, he's in a groove now.
Well,
absolutely. And I think also if he gets in some tournament games where he's not making threes, sometimes earlier in the season when he wasn't making threes, his defense would lack. But I think now late in the season, I think he'll bring the defense even if he doesn't make all the threes.
And what amazes me, buddy, and this is what we've said all year long, is they get in your gym shorts at 94 feet and stay there the whole way down the court at times. And what does that do to a person's legs with 6 minutes to go in a game, with 4 minutes to go in a game? They just physically and mentally with that defense, not only is it good defense, but it wears you down physically and mentally to where at the end of the game, you're dead on your legs are dead anyway.
We were talking about that earlier with Jeff Halcomb, who's a big basketball fan and Gator fan. His dad's a Kentucky fan. And the very thing is that Florida just beats you up on defense. They make you earn every step, never mind every point. By the time you get through, then you get pressed on on the other end as well by Florida, and your tongue is hanging out in the second half because what happens to shooters' legs, they get tired, they miss shots. So this is why you see Florida playing close games up to the last 6, 7, 8 minutes and suddenly pulling away. Last night it was clearly Michael Frazier who pulled them away. So,
by the way, buddy, do you think it's just coincidence or it's meant to be the fact that this four seniors, their last home game is against the Kentucky Wildcats, who has been an incredible feat for them their whole entire season or the whole entire year at Florida, and then now they get to finally play them in the last home game? I think that's pretty exciting.
Well, they beat them once in Lexington,
right?
And Kentucky lost to South Carolina. They're not the force they used to be. It's going to be. I understand there's tickets are going for $200-300 a piece at the O-Dome on Saturday night because it is Kentucky, and a chance to go 18-0. First time any SEC team has ever gone 18-0 because it's a bigger league now.
Right.
The old Kentucky teams are undefeated, but not 18-0, and so they've got that going for them and the winning streak. And coming up in just a couple minutes, we're going to have Mark Long from the Associated Press to talk about that, and also about the great night by Michael Frazier and what it means. But no, it's all happening right now, and Tom Schmitz has got some really good stats as well, and we'll go over those too. But first, let's go to the headlines. Not a good day for the soccer team.
No, not a good day. We lost 0-2 to Ukraine. Just a friendly, though, Tom said. Doesn't really mean much, but obviously if you're USA, you want to win. But we did not. We lost 2-0.
You know, people don't understand what a friendly game is. It's an exhibition game, right?
Right.
Doesn't count in the standing World Cup standings, right?
Correct.
Okay.
JJ could probably tell us more about that.
Yeah.
But next headline of the day, the NCAA has withdrawn their controversial 10-second rule proposal for college football.
Saban rule, bye-bye.
Yep, the proposed rule was to allow time for defensive substitutions within the first 10 seconds of the regular 40-second play clock, regardless of whether or not the offense substitutes. Obviously, this was just one part of the new rule proposal, but it's been tabled and will not be in effect for 2014.
I like what the spokesperson from the NCAA said. They said, when we looked at it, if the officials can place the ball and get in position in time for the play to get started, the defense should be able to do the same thing.
Yeah, a bunch of old men out there. They get there. 73%, 93 coaches were opposed to it, and I'm good for them. So I think it's it would have been a mistake to tinker with a game that, by the way, which is pretty good right now.
Right. Next headline of the day, Troy Polamalu has re-signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers for 3 years. He turns 33 next month and has been scheduled to make $8.25 million in base salary. He started all 16 games last season for Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's really made it clear they want Troy to retire with him. He's
good for the Steelers. The Rooneys are loyal people. There are not many, maybe none, as loyal as the Rooneys in the National Football League. It's a cold, hard business. They think Polamalu can play still for them. They also want to repay him for his loyalty. I salute the Rooneys for doing that.
Right. NHL, but if you didn't know this, the NHL trade deadline ended today at 3 p.m. Big headline from that. The New York Rangers acquired 6-time All-Star Martin St. Louis from the Tampa Bay Lightning for Captain Ryan Callahan and 2 draft picks. It was completed really in the last few hours of the 3 p.m. deadline. This trade's rare because you don't really see 2 captains going from team to team. St. Louis and Callahan were both captains. And because St. Louis had such a long career at Tampa Bay, he played for Tampa Bay for 13 years. Final headline of the day.
Yeah, he's on the Santa Cup team.
Yes, he was.
Heart and soul of the Santa Cup team.
Correct. SMU's Larry Brown, a Southern Methodist University team that's 16th in the nation right now, playing very well under Larry Brown. Larry Brown, though, strongly disagreed with the Mavericks owner Mark Cuban's suggestion that elite prospects would be better prepared for the NBA by playing in the D-League instead of spending one season in college. Larry Brown said, "I admire him, and I think he's one of the bright guys we have in our profession, but that's the worst thing I've heard. They don't teach guys how to play it, in my mind."
Now, the Cuban statement is resonating with a lot of people, and there's been a lot of fallout from it. Of course, other people, are saying that they need to play 2 years, not one. Even Charles Barkley has come out very strongly against the idea and says that the reason that the league is so bad right now, the one-and-dones are killing the NBA and they're hurting college programs. You could argue either side of that, I suppose. Cuban arguing that you'll get more instruction in a D-League. There's something about it to me that seems to smack of, insensitivity and exploitation to take an 18-year-old kid and put him in a D-League. I know they do it in baseball. I get that. I know they also do it in golf where you got to go out and earn your way up. But to me, the idea is one thing about basketball. When you get kids who have been playing and go to the tournament and win a championship like Magic and Bird and guys that have a visible presence in the college game, it translates into an NBA following. The NBA was revived by Magic and Bird. It was in big trouble until they came aboard, and it's been flourishing since then. So that connection, I think Mark Cuban's missing that connection completely.
Well, I think that it would help both games if players stayed at least through their junior year. But I'm selfish in that I want to see good college basketball. So, hey, real quick, an update from CF Gym State Tournament. In the 1 o'clock game, Pensacola State defeated Daytona State. In the 3 o'clock game, we had erroneously reported earlier it was East Florida. It is not. Miami-Dade loses to St. Petersburg. So St. Petersburg will play Pensacola State. Eastern Florida State and Polk State will get underway at 6 p.m., and then College of Central Florida and Chipola play at 8. So
the Patriots tonight.
Well underway.
Right here in our
area. Big turnout, too. I drove by earlier today. Packed parking lot over there.
On the air tonight, Tom James on the call. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Mark Long from the AP on Gator Basketball right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz of the Voice of Ocala, heard daily on these airwaves from 3 to 6 p.m. People always come up and ask me, is Buddy Martin really a nice guy to work with? And I always tell them, sure, he's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. It's a pleasure working with Buddy every day. It's almost like no work at all. Did that sound believable? I mean, wait, is this still on? You know, Austin, I'm sitting here at the computer looking at our Facebook page, and boy, we really need to tell more listeners about our Facebook page.
No, Tom, so you got it all wrong. Twitter is the new age.
What's a tweeter?
No, a Twitter, Tom. The Voice of Ocala has a Twitter.
We do? Well, how do we tell our listeners about that?
All they have to do is get the Twitter app or go to twitter.com, type in Voice of Ocala in the search box, and click follow.
All right, well, what's the tweeter do?
The Voice of Ocala's Twitter page updates all of its followers on the latest news, guests, giveaways, and contests.
Oh, okay. But couldn't listeners just tune in weekdays from 3 to 6 to 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, or even go to online at WOCA.com? Wouldn't that be easier?
Yeah, okay, maybe.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Stacy Caldwell, the College Board's Vice President of the SAT, coming on to speak to us about changes to the SAT exam and what those changes mean for parents, students, and teachers.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events served bite-sized.
And then Dr. Vivian Fonseca is coming on, a professor of medicine and pharmacology at Tulane University Health Sciences Center, coming on to speak to us about the importance of controlling cholesterol so it does not lead to heart disease.
Then join Hank Whittier and our veterans on Veterans News.
And then let's talk golf with Jim Beckett. He's a PGA professional and the founder of the Golf College down at Links of Spruce Creek South.
Peter Leonard is a best-selling novelist. He'll be on the air speaking about his new book, Eyes Closed Tight.
And then Strive Physical Therapy will be in the studio. We'll have some therapists from Strive talking about what they do to make sure that you feel better after you've needed some therapy. All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders. Veterans News is brought to you each week by Palm Chevrolet, where supporting the community is the Palm Chevy way, and by Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
You're listening to WOCA Ocala.
I'm a pot of gold, but we'll try best that we can.
All right, back on Buddy Sports Page. What a night last night. Florida beating South Carolina 72-46. That wasn't the most important stat. It was a coming out party. It was an incredible night for Michael Frazier II, setting a record for 3 points in a SEC game, going for 37, and it looked almost LeBron-esque in some regards. But let's ask Mark Long of the Associated Press. Mark, when's the last time you saw a guy shoot that well in a Gator uniform?
Yeah, well, I mean, what a night. Unbelievable. I mean, just an unbelievable shooting performance. We haven't seen anything like that, certainly not from three-point range in the entire Billy Donovan era. And you're talking about some great shooters he's rolled through Gainesville, buddy, and nobody's done anything close to that. And, you know, I don't know that it should be a huge surprise. I mean, it certainly is a surprise to anybody who's watched that team because they're such an unselfish team and such a balanced scoring team that they don't necessarily have, you know, nights like that where one guy scores 30 points or more. But it shouldn't be that big a surprise because Michael Frazier is a great shooter, and Billy Donovan's been raving about his ability to make threes for years now. For 2 years now, he's been telling us that this guy's got the purest stroke he's probably ever seen from any of his guys, right up there with Brett Nelson and Teddy Dupay and Lee Humphrey. And you know, from that standpoint, and the guy just got hot, and you know, he got hot, and to the team's credit, they kept feeding him. A lot of teams may have, you know, guys would have tried to get theirs or whatever. This team, no, it didn't work like that. They recognized that this guy was on fire, and what they do, they kept feeding him the ball and then congratulating him after every made shot.
There's a part of me that thought Billy might take him out earlier when he got to 30 or whatever, just so he wouldn't go over. A lot of coaches, like you remember Steve Spurrier, he's been known to take guys out at halftime and send them to the showers, you know, Terry Dean, you know, when they were up about 42-0 with 6 touchdown passes, you know, he's been on. Some coaches will pull a guy out. Billy Donovan wanted Michael Frazier to have that night, didn't he?
Yeah, no question. And I'll tell you this: the one thing we've learned about Billy Donovan this year is that he's a little leery about pulling his guys, you know, too early. He's done it all year. He's kept his guys in there, kept them in there, despite, you know, some lopsided scores. And I think the reason is, you know, exactly what we saw a couple days ago in Gainesville, which is his reserves usually get outscored pretty significantly down the stretch. So he doesn't have a lot of confidence in his bench. So he's been sticking with guys till probably like the 2-minute mark or whatever. So the bench guys aren't getting a ton of minutes. But that's kind of his MO right now. But I think what you saw too was, Billy being a shooter, Billy recognizing that Michael Frazier's having this unbelievable night, and it's, why not stick with him? And it's not like football in terms of injury. Your likelihood of getting hurt in a basketball game far less than it would be in a football game. So there's probably not as much gambling going on there with leaving guys in for a little bit.
It wasn't maybe the coronation of a player. It was sort of the arrival of the player last night, and it could impact the team in numerous ways. He has been their go-to guy. Now, as we get to the postseason, when Kentucky left this Saturday, hoping to go 18-0 for the first time any team has ever gone 18-0 because it's an expanded league. But at this time of the tournament, now, if you're a coach, you're looking at this situation, you're going to know where Michael Frazier is at all times, and you're going to man up on him really tight and double him when you can. However, that has consequences elsewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can go in there and say, I think if I was a coach and Michael Frazier did what he did, I would say, listen, if you let him get off the shot, I'm pulling you out of the game. And I just keep switching my guys out, until somebody found somebody who could cover him. But the problem there is, just what you said. It's just what you said. You go trying to take him out of the game, and they'll beat you inside with Pat Young and William Gett and Dorian Finney-Smith and Chris Walker. Or they got other guys who can hit threes. If you want to play a box and one, Scotty Wilbekin will hit a three on you. Devon Walker will hit a three on you. Dorian Finney-Smith can hit a three on you. They're not Michael Frazier, and I get that, but they're absolutely capable of winning without Michael Frazier, and we've seen that this year. This is not a team. I know Michael Frazier's been very good here in SEC play, certainly in the last 2 weeks of the season, but by no means, is this team all or nothing around Michael Frazier? I mean, they've got enough pieces to beat you any which way.
I think this team is getting better. I think it's gotten better, exponentially better in the last 2 games. And it may be that, as we've all hoped, if you're a Gator fan, that they would peak at the right time. It's March. They're playing good basketball. Right now, it could be a good thing for the Florida Gators.
Yeah, no question, buddy. It's hard to say that a team that's won 22 in a row and is 17-0 in conference play is peaking. But you're absolutely right. They really are. I mean, even though they've been either tied or trailed at half of, I think, 7 of their last 9 games or something like that. But the reality is, they are handling everything, and they're getting everybody's best shot. They're not surprising anybody at this point. They're coming in as the number 1 team in the country with huge winning streaks, whether it's at home or on the road or overall, and they're getting everybody's best shot, and they're taking it, and they're withstanding it, and they're coming out victorious week in and week out, game in, game out, and they're beating some quality opponents. And I think they're going to run Kentucky out of the gym on Saturday in this thing 18-0.
We're talking with Mark Long, the Associated Press. Mark, Tom Schmitz here. Last question. With the trials and tribulations that have been the career of Scotty Wilbekin at the University of Florida, coming out of Gainesville, now if this Gator team does what we all think they do, they'll at least make the Elite Eight, maybe win a national championship. Where does he go down in the realm of great athletes from the city of Gainesville?
Oh, boy. Tom, you catch me off guard because I don't really necessarily know my Gainesville athlete history, but I got to say he's at the top of the list, if not in the top 5. I mean, I know obviously Chris Doring falls into that category.
Willis McGay, he's in that category.
Sure. There's a few others. I mean, Mike Peterson. I don't know if you count Mike Peterson from.
He's from Santa Fe. That counts.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, certainly there's a good group there, and Wilbekin's right up there with them. I don't know that Wilbekin's going to have the NBA career that, say, a Mike Peterson had in the NFL. By comparison, Mike Pete played 14 seasons in the NFL, 12 seasons in the NFL, made a lot of money, played for a lot of teams, won a lot of games, played a lot of good football. And I don't know if Wilbekin's quite there, but certainly from a collegiate standpoint, what Wilbekin has done, especially if they win a national title, will rival anything that Doring and Peterson and some of those other guys did coming out of Gainesville.
Mark Long, the AP. Mark, you're going to sell your press pass Saturday on the tickets are going for like $200-$300 a piece. Press pass maybe worth $1,000. You never know.
Yeah, you're right. I do have a pretty good seat there, buddy.
Yes, you do. Enjoy the game Saturday night. Thanks a lot for being on the show with us, Mark.
Anytime, guys. Take care.
Mark Long, AP.
That's a good question though. Where will Scotty Wilbekin?
Well, you got to go back a ways. There's a lot of
guys.
A lot of
you don't know about
guys,
like
Bernie Parrish and guys back in that era.
I know.
So they go back a long way, but it's a question we have to research. We'll ask somebody about it. France Beard would probably know because he's from Gainesville too. So we will take a break. Come back with Coach Max Howell, the voice of Southern football, and
hungry already.
Yeah, and what's for dinner tonight? Max has culinary knowledge. Coming up next, right here on Buddy Sports Page.
Max Howell with, I'm sorry, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, I'm Buddy Martin, the host of The Voice of Ocala, every weekday from 3 to 6 right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. A lot of people ask me, how do you keep a muzzle on Tom Schmitz? Forget about it.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
This is Austin Tavern reminding you to stay in contact with us at WOCA. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Voice of Ocala. Make sure to become a friend of our Facebook page and call us at 622-9622.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, the new old-fashioned bank. Let us introduce you to Ocus, a simple way to bring your business online. Through this relationship, your business can have a fully functioning website in less than 30 minutes. We will also provide you support with social media, sales tracking, e-commerce, and online scheduling, which is all optimized for mobile users. Ocus, now at Gateway Bank, Silver Springs Boulevard, Ocala. Come visit our technology center for your total small business solution. I'm Tom Ingram, and I'll see you there.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Hi, Carl Champley here. Join me every Saturday afternoon for DIY Live, your complete guide to getting that DIY project started and finished the right way.
And when you need the right product for that do-it-yourself project, visit the DIY Home Center outlet right here in Ocala, just 2 miles east of I-75 on Northwest 10th Street. From carpet to doors to real wood cabinets, visit the DIY Home Center outlet today and tune in to DIY Live.
That's DIY Live Saturdays right here on WOCA, The Source.
Your heating and air conditioning unit sure will get a workout this season, and you need to make sure it's in tip-top condition. Let Air Ducts Heating and Air give you that peace of mind by knowing your unit will work at its optimum efficiency, saving you time and money. Air Ducts is a full HVAC residential and commercial company. Air Ducts is family-owned and operated, so we treat you the way we want to be treated. Air Ducts also offers discounts for builders and commercial applications, so give us a call today, 352-304-6766. That number again, 352-304-6766. Air Ducts Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hi, Danny Werfel here. You don't have to sacrifice convenience for local personal service.
At Florida Credit Union, you can transfer your high credit card balances to our rewards card and actually get paid with cash back. You'll enjoy low rates and a customizable card that fits your lifestyle for free.
Never tried a credit union? Maybe it's time for a new game plan.
The Florida Credit Union Wave Card, connecting your money to your life.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala Restore at 926 Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give us a call at 401-0075 and we'll come pick it up. For more information, visit ocalarestore.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County. Building homes, building hope, building community.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala Buddy Sports page. You know, we're talking about the University of Florida basketball program with Mark Long. Austin, let me give you some stats that'll blow your mind about the University of Florida.
All right.
This group of graduating seniors, will you get Casey Prather, Scotty Wilbekin, and Patrick Young, combined for 112 wins. The only Florida player with more wins than that in his career, Walter Hodge. They have 3 SEC championships. They've been to 3 Elite Eights. Only team in the country to reach it the past 3 seasons, by the way. And they've scored, as a combined, the 4 of them in their career have scored 3,190 points, 1,991 rebounds, 702 assists, and they've combined for a .519 career field goal percentage. They're 1,215 for 2,340 in shots. So let me break that down. 112 wins, almost 3,200 points, and a 52% shooting from the field. That deserves a wow, if you ask me about this group of seniors.
Yeah, especially it comes at a time when we have the quote-unquote one-and-done era when everybody's jumping to go to the NBA.
How hard is it for 4 guys to shoot 52% in their career combined? That means, 5.2 shots out of every 10 go in the basket from these 4, buddy. That's an amazing stat to me.
The 04s will probably be the team that they'll always remember at Florida.
Well, they got 2 crystal balls.
Well, that's the thing. But, in terms of accomplishments, they're going to never be topped. Nobody's ever going to win back-to-back.
Imagine if they'd have stayed 4 years.
But this team this year is significant. These 4 seniors send a message to college basketball. At a time when Mark Cuban's talking about, well, we don't really need people to stay that long, let them go to the D-League. And these kids came out and they stayed together for 4 years. Not even the 04s did that. And what people have to see, what the other young people got to see is players enjoying their time in college, succeeding, staying together, hanging in there, and it sends a great message to college sports and a great message to college basketball. And I think it's broken right now. I think that John Calipari has proven to be a failure at one and done. In fact, he might be one and done. He may be done himself if he didn't come up with something else, because it's just not a good. It's a short-term, overnight kind of success, but it's not permanent. Trying to reach Max Howell. Unfortunately, I talked to Max over the weekend, and his phone's either out of order or he's not available, so we'll continue to endeavor to get a hold of Max. And we want to try to get up with him and talk a little football. We had Tony Barnhart on yesterday, and Tony's headed for his Around the SEC tour. And we talked with Tony about what he was going to be doing, looking for, and he mentioned a couple of teams he thought that were going to be worth watching he'll be looking for. And one of those, I think it's probably Max. Go ahead and answer. Just take another room and answer Max and tell him what number to call. Anyway, Tony Barnhart was mentioned that we should keep an eye on a couple of guys. We asked him about some of the players to watch. He mentioned Malcolm Mitchell from Georgia, and he really raved about Ricky Seal-Jones from Texas A&M, a 6'5" receiver. So even though Johnny Manziel is not there, he said he's a guy you're going to be seeing lots of. He was hurt last year apparently, very high. So we'll continue to get with Tony over the spring as he goes out and tackles some of these, so to speak, some of these SEC teams and finds out what's happening. I read an interesting article today on players to watch and in this spring, and a lot of them that we had forgotten about. But there is some news. The kid from Ole Miss, the twin,
Kimdichie, yeah.
I forget which one it was. Apparently booted off the team today. I know that was tweeted out today under my name. So those are two guys that are high profile. They got in some trouble. Maybe Max will be able to shed some light. Is Max going to come on the show with us? Okay, we're going to call Max. He follows the Ole Miss program, but Kimdichie apparently gone for the team. We'll find out more details about that and the fact that he was a really big part of that Ole Miss program. Ole Miss, by the way, had a very good recruiting year, and there are lots of talking about how good they might be. So that's not good news if you're an Ole Miss fan because these two young guys, if you watch any Ole Miss games, you heard their names called a lot. And I don't know which one it is, which one got – do you guys know which one it was that got kicked off, Kimdichie twins?
I want to say it was Denzel.
I think you're right. It was Denzel. I think it was Denzel that got so we'll ask Max about that when he comes aboard. Yesterday also we talked about the change in the policy at University of Florida, which Gator fans will be glad to hear. There are going to be some open practices, something they haven't had for a while. I think this is exactly what they have been doing the last couple of years because there's definitely a disconnect between the program and a lot of the fans right now, and the Gators are feeling it at the gate and they're feeling it at the whole alumni level that they feel like this is not necessarily their team because they just don't connect with some of the players. And one reason they don't connect is the fact that you can't see them practice a couple times a year. That's about it. If you're going to ask people to step up and pay absurd amounts for tickets to sit on a small seat, tiny seat in a hot stadium where there's really probably only 3 games you want to see, you need to be a little more customer-oriented. Your customers need to be able to see your team, including the Florida Gators. There's a list of those games where those days. We'll read that list too. Right now we're going to go to the phones and talk to our friend Max Howell, the most difficult man to reach on phone in America besides the president.
Well, buddy, look, buddy, I learned a long time ago, and probably from you, it's hard to hit a moving target.
Yeah, I think I invented that phrase.
I think you did too.
So good to hear from you, Max. So many people know you in this area because, A, you've been on the show radio stations around here for a while. And, of course, I always remember that great program called Conference Call, which is, by the way, predated ESPN by several months, maybe a year. And you did that show around the SEC. It was so cool to talk about the SEC and to have the crowd of folks that you had and some of your background in the SEC. And so I look forward one of these days to hearing you do that again somewhere along the line.
Well, buddy, we've chatted off there from time to time, and that would be a goal of mine, really, is to bring that back. That was kind of a one of a kind at that particular time, as you recall. Nobody was doing regional radio at that time.
That's right.
We just gathered a bunch of folks together up in Memphis, Tennessee, and put that thing on. And that first year, in Gainesville and Ocala was part of the stops. We did 200 nights on the road.
Wow.
That first year.
Wow.
So it was an interesting, let's say this, an interesting run, to say the least.
You had your own SEC game day going there.
Yes, we did. That's what we did. We tried to stop. We'd travel during the week and try to end up at a college campus, close to the weekend,
right,
whether it be during spring training and or during the ball game.
Right, and I know Tom Schmitz wants to jump in here, but
I'm just saying we had him on 100.1 in Statesboro. You could hear him every night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, we really had a good run. We had about 100. I believe it was 123 stations at one time.
Wow. And I talked to John Brantley last week. We were talking about you. And he said, I still get, because Brantley was on the air with you a couple of times. John and I did radio back together back in those days. We used to travel and go to the games, Gator game stuff. And you had him on a couple of times, quite a few times. And he says, I still get feedback from people. When I go to Cincinnati to visit Chris Collinsworth, he says, I still get people say, I heard you on that conference call with Max Howell, those guys. Even today, said more than any show that he's ever been on. So you had a nice audience. And what happened? happened there eventually to conference call?
Well, what happened was it's one of those situations where the corporate side it took a wrong direction. They wanted to try to take the program national, and then I knew with my voice and my southern accent, it probably wouldn't fly. Maybe Dallas and St. Louis, that is about as far as it would range. It would go. We were already in Kentucky, and we were up in the Carolinas, but I didn't think it would go. And then, of course, Tim Brando and Billy Packer and all got involved. Their agents got involved out in New York, and it just kind of the wheels started to come off. They were throwing big dollars around, but you've seen that before with particular small corporations, and it fell apart. I'll be honest with you, the guys got starry-eyed, and they thought really that in their mind we were bigger than we really were. They used that perception philosophy. And it just came apart. I think that's the easiest way I can say it.
That's an honest answer. And the thing about it is, and Tom, I know you agree with it because you heard it, but what made it and what would make it today is the folksy aspect of the show. When you're talking about, especially the SEC and the Southern culture and what have you, I understand that everybody who lives in the South is not from the South. I understand they don't think of you as having a New York City accent. I understand that. But the fact is that our culture, Max, and you and I have been around a while, is built on, the great camaraderie, the great, the colorful extravaganza of college football. It's the social part. It's going to the game. It's tailgating. It's all those things that go into college football that makes it a great game. And I think when people miss that, they miss the message of what college football is about.
No, I don't think there's any doubt. There's two quick points that I usually make when people want to talk about, why do you feel like that about the North and all that? There's two things, buddy. One, there's no such magazine called Northern Living. Just remember that. Circulation of about 2 million copies a month. That's one, and I don't know very few people that ever moved north to retire. So just think about that.
It's no such thing as Northern Fried Chicken either, by the way.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Max, growing up as a kid and then playing football at Georgia Southern with Coach Russell, we used to listen to you this conference call every night that it was on the radio in Statesboro. And what people don't realize is the religion of the South, not taking anything away from churches because there's a bunch of them in the South, but the religion of the South for the sports world is football. And you guys were pretty much evangelists of football.
Well, we were. I mean, and it was, look, it was our lifestyle. I mean, I think that came across, and I think that was probably part of the popularity of it. People could identify, and it didn't matter whether we were in Statesboro, Georgia, or Pontotoc, Mississippi, or Lexington, Kentucky. It was all the same. It was the content changed from time to time, but the presentation was always the same. And I think that's really, and again, too, guys, remember, there was nothing to compare that to either. We were the first out there that, in essence, created that mindset. And I don't know. I think back so many times about it, and I had some regrets about some of the things that went on. Nothing ever in public, but the fact is the way the corporate entity was managed, that probably, we could have probably phased that into something and probably kept it still going, to be honest with you.
I still use to this day the Max Howell recipe for cooking a Boston Bud. I just want you to know.
Well, let me just tell you, and I'm glad you said that. I still do that, guys. I've got about 3 or 4 clients in North Alabama, North Mississippi. I cook for at big hunting clubs. This past Saturday, I spent, a good friend of mine just opened up a huge convenience store right on the Tennessee-Tombigbee River, right at the docks. And I went over and did a cookie for them this past Saturday. Guys, we cooked 40 chickens, 40 pounds of hamburger, and 20 Boston Butts. And I'm telling you, I started at 6 o'clock in the morning. By 3:30 in the afternoon, it was all gone.
Well, let's face it, the two passions you have are, of course, football and food, and I still love that segment, What's for Dinner? And Max Howell, so long as we brought that up, let's find out what's for dinner tonight, Max.
Well, I'm going to tell you, so I'm glad you asked. I happened to have saved, not only did we cook that for the general population, but I cooked a couple of deer hindquarters. These guys up in North Alabama and North Mississippi, they hunt religiously. And so I threw a couple of deer quarters on the backside. I've chopped those up for barbecue, and tonight I'm having that deer barbecue On the side, a big old bowl of potato salad, some homemade fries. For dessert, a big old banana pudding with a big old pitcher of sweet iced tea.
Mm-hmm. You got me on the banana pudding. That's where you really got me.
You knew he was going to finish it off with a pitcher of sweet iced tea.
Well, we'll have to stay more involved with you and keep up. Now, give me this. We got about a minute to talk football. Anything about the SEC right now that jumps out at you other than the fact that looks like that Saban's got it going again, and how long can he sustain this run he's on?
Well, I think the first thing that's going to happen, Bay, you and I talked a little bit briefly about it recently, is the TV network, the SEC network that begins in August. It will be a national network other than ESPN per se, who actually owns the majority interest of that. It'll be the biggest thing in the country. People on the West Coast can think about it. The Big 12 can talk about the Texas Longhorn Network, the Big 10. We can talk about all those things you want to talk about. Nothing's going to supersede what's going to happen with the SEC TV network. And I'm thinking now there's some real opportunity for somebody to jump out there and kind of maybe create an SEC radio network. And I think that might be a real opportunity for some people down the road.
Could be, and look, let's face it. There's a certain fascination with the Southern culture right now, as we've seen by Duck Dynasty and the popularity of that show. So we got to come up with a Cooking with Max segment or something on national TV.
I'll eat.
Well, Max, it's good to talk to you.
You know who Mark Slabaugh is?
I do.
All right. Well, you know what Mark's latest venture is?
I do not.
Mark wrote all the books on Duck Dynasty. He penned all those.
Wow, I did not know that.
The Willie Robinson story. All the Cy Robinson story. I'll just tell you this. The last time I talked to Mark, they had sold over 4 million copies. Mark got $2 a copy off of it.
Wow. Good for Mark. Good for Mark. He's doing all right, yeah. And what's funny about it, Phil Robertson, when I wrote Terry Bradshaw's book, he told me about this quarterback they had where he went to Louisiana Tech. He said, this quarterback was better than me. And he said, I didn't have to beat him out. He quit because he wanted to go hunt and fish, and that was Phil Robertson.
That was Phil.
Yes, it was. Right. Who knew, man? Who knew? Max, it's great to talk to you. Let's talk. Keep that phone on, and we'll be in touch.
Be happy to be on anytime. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Max. Appreciate that. Max out. One of the best. Take a break, come back, finish it up right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source. Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of the Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course, the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly "Are You Kidding Me?" rant. So join me, Austin Tapman, and Josh LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for the Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz of the Voice of Ocala, heard daily on these airwaves from 3 to 6 p.m. People always come up and ask me, is Buddy Martin really a nice guy to work with? And I always tell them, sure, he's one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. It's a pleasure working with Buddy every day. It's almost like no work at all. Did that sound believable? Wait, is this still on?
We're not just the horse capital of the world. Ocala Marion County is now the hoops capital, too, thanks to the 2013 national champion CF Patriots basketball team. The McDonald Allstate Agency brings you the reigning kings of the court all season long right here on WOCA. Coach Tim Ryan and the Patriots look to defend their national crown and get set to host the state tournament this coming spring. The McDonald Allstate Agency brings you CF basketball only on WOCA, The Source.
The new book, called Front and Center, is a book dedicated to those questioning their focus in life. It was written by award-winning Christian author Martin Roberts. Martin has dedicated his life to providing relevance and insight about the Word of God. Front and Center uses Scripture to help people make a big decision. Who is front and center in their life? Front and Center is available as an ebook and online. Front and Center, read now, live forever. For more information, visit mdrministries.com.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, you guys, this is Lou, and if you don't want to be a dirty little bird sitting on the curb eating dirty earthworms, you better head on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs. They got the best, the juiciest, tastiest char-grilled hot dogs, burgers, solid filet of fish and chicken, and 90% fat-free pulled pork barbecue. That's a little sweet and a little spicy. You know, Dairy Queen doesn't use processed and formed junk like the competition. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, home of the real $5 lunch.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's OcalaForSale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. OcalaForSale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Good little southern rock going on there. I'm in a southern kind of mood today, you know, and I love talking to people like Max, you know, who's he's got some stories to tell. He used to be a recruiter, and I think it was Ole Miss, I believe. He coached at Florida State, Ole Miss, and I don't know, 3 or 4 places. I know that he told some stories. I asked him one time if it was getting worse and worse out there with people cheating and trying to pay players. He said, it ain't nearly as bad as it was when I was out there. Said,
played at Auburn, coached at FSU, and later at Ole Miss and Troy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Needs to be back on the radio again, you know, for those people who missed him and didn't. He's got a lot to offer, so it's the kind of guy that we were talking off the air about people like that. The late Bino Cook was just such a character, and he got to, later in his years, he got a chance to be himself on ESPN, but not ever really. That's the great thing about radio. You have a chance to talk, and you don't have a script, and you haven't got, you're in a 10-second soundbite. You have a chance to talk, and people like that need to be able to have a microphone to talk into and tell their stories. And let's face it, the color of the South and the color of SEC football and the flavors of it, you know, are what make it what it is. And when you get the people around it, the fireside, and tell the stories, that's the best part.
Somebody text us, great to hear Max Howell on the radio again.
He's got fans in this area now. He won't be the last one. Yeah, Max is very well liked here, and his show was a big deal now. I'm telling you, we started that in '96 at WMLP, and he was on the air with us almost instantly because they just started the program. And we traveled around. He traveled around and he came down for the Tennessee game. That next year, it was 97, he came in, and we did a party in downtown Gainesville, and he was very popular, he and his crew. So anyway, we got to do more football talk around here, so we'll get into that.
I'm just ready to eat some deer venison barbecue.
I'm not a huge fan of
venison barbecue.
Of venison. Don't forget tonight, college basketball, we got the state tournament here at CF. You want to be sure that you listen to the Tom James broadcast.
8 p.m. tip-off.
I want to thank our guests today. We heard Max Howell, Mark Long. We had Jeff. What we got? Mark Long, Jeff Halcomb, Kent Gwynn, and David Ryder. On behalf of Tom, JJ, not JJ, Austin, Josh, and I'm Buddy Martin. Have a great night.
Grew up tall and she grew up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night.
352-507-5352. 352-507-5352. 352-507-5352.
Tom.
352-507-5352.
Tom!
What? Oh, what?
What is that phone number?
Oh, that's our new number.